is starting. Let me tweet it. Where did that go? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Shit, sneezing. All right, I'm on the right account. No, I'm not. All right, let me go on. All right, the tweet is up, y'all. If y'all want to retweet it, I just tweeted it from the pod account. From my account. I can get rid of this screen here. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Big pod hours. This is our 10th episode.
10.
Crazy.
In the books already. It's going by so fast.
It's a big time. We going crazy right now, huh?
Going by so fast. Anyway, y'all that's tuned in on YouTube or y'all that's tuned in via one of the mini podcast apps, this is our 10th episode of the Underhooks podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tej. Also, my co-host Stefan is in the building, and we got a special guest in the building. Care Bear Carey, and our Longhorn brother, is in the building.
How we doing? I'm excited to be here. Talk to my
He's
VR
fresh.
Kings.
He's fresh from his visit at USC.
Oh. Went to some Lakers games, went to the Rams game, enjoying life out here in LA.
When are you going to make a decision, Kieran, on what school you will be attending? We're glad that you left Oklahoma, but we do want to hear where you'll be attending sometime soon, bro.
You'll see. Big news soon come. God, the Caleb Williams shit is getting out of hand right now. It's getting ridiculous. But
I hope he drags it out forever, just to make OU fans more mad because they are down bad. They are.
We should have
bad.
Lincoln Riley fight Brent Venables in a UFC match to decide where he goes.
100. We need more of that. We need more people getting into the ring and just deciding, the fates.
I'm betting minus 600. Lincoln Riley is the favorite. I'm still betting on Lincoln Riley.
There's no way Lincoln Riley can fight, bro. You see him?
How is there a way that Brent Venables can fight?
Yeah, he gives me big fighting vibes. All defense coordinators are crazy. Like if somebody's like, "Oh, Muschamp is in the UFC," I'm betting everything on Muschamp.
Yeah. Oh, what coach you think is packed, got them damn hands?
Harbaugh.
I don't know. Harbaugh. Like
everything's not right in his mind. You can see it, and he's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you can see it when you watch his offenses play.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Anyway, we had some much needed and very, very much needed fights last weekend. Thank God. I know we were all starving. We had the Calvin Kattar and Giga card, and this card was big trash. There were no a lot of the fights fell off the card, to be fair, because of Omicron. And then there were no finishes in the prelims. And after about that third prelim, I said, all right, bro, well, what are we doing here, Dana? Is somebody going to get knocked out or sub? I know I missed the fights, but it didn't take long for me to turn into a stubborn MMA fan. Somebody better get finished now. I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah. I hate being that type of MMA fan, but at the same time, I can't ignore all these damn decisions, especially when they're fights when it's not like like nobody's getting like hurt or put in any real danger. Those are the absolute worst. There's 2 finishes on that card. And it was interesting. But,
I'm fine with the decision. We'll talk about the main card last, but or the main fight. But that was a great fight. Like, it was a decision, but it was a great fight.
Yeah, exactly.
We got so many slugs where nobody was really getting hurt. Everybody being so defensive.
Yeah,
I do want to call out a couple. The first knockout of the year was from in the lightweight division, Borshev with a body shot KO.
Yeah,
which
that
is
body shot was absolutely hell. Like, if that's the worst way, we always say that like getting choked out is absolutely disgusting, but taking a body shot, you have to literally get the shit knocked out of you for it to be like, all right, body shot is when I'm calling it quits.
When a body shot crumbles you to the ground, like you literally feel like you've just been electrocuted, like you lost all sorts of like bodily function. It's a terrible feeling. As someone that's been punched in the gut by Francis Ngannou, it is an awful, god awful feeling to get shot.
You have been punched in the gut by Francis?
Yes, I have. Actually,
that sounds awful.
Yeah, no, it was he was going like 50%. He hit me full off camera, and I wanted to cry. Like, I dead ass. I was feeling tears trickle down.
I hate that for you because I'm different, RP to you, but Francis ain't hitting me like that, dog. I'm telling you, I don't get the fair with him.
It's for the content. You know what I mean?
That is the. I have to go find this. I can't believe that you're basically Johnny Knoxville.
I'm in the countdown episode. I'm in the countdown episode, getting shot to the body in slow motion. I don't know why they slowed it down.
How did I miss this? I just watched the countdown.
Did you have a pad?
Yeah, I had a pad on.
Oh, okay.
It's for the content. I'm not just gonna eat a huge shot to the.
I want one. I want one real.
Here we go. Stefan about to get his
real
lines
kick
off right now.
No pads, raw.
I got.
You want to get a UFC kick raw to the dome?
Yeah, you crazy. You want that shit into dome like DC got from John Jones. I'm chilling on that.
I don't want all that now. I said I just a little bit. I want to taste. I want the appetizer. Don't give me no main course kick.
It depends on who it's from. If I'm getting a kick from like a mid-tier level dude without kickboxing experience.
Yeah, it's gotta be small division. Nobody lightweighting up.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give me no kick from a big dude. Give
that
me
Thug Rose trying to kick me.
Hey,
she gonna knock your bitch ass out.
Yeah, she gonna knock your ass out.
Hey, look, that's what y'all saying.
She put Whaley's out with the toes, bro. I'm sorry. Like, that, it wasn't even shin that she put Whaley out. That was straight toes. That
was a fluke, my brother.
Oh my
God!
God!
Right now, we're not going back to this conspiracy.
It was a
theory.
fluke.
This nigga right here.
What about the rematch?
Well documented fluke and propaganda.
We also found out that our this podcast favorite fighter, Caitlin Chikagian, aka Blonde Fighter, is now a free agent. So she won her fight. She didn't really call nobody out. She won a decision, which she always does. I think every win she's had in the UFC is
9 decisions.
She is so boring
in the last fight. Chill though. You got great likes.
Okay, that's what I figured y'all liked her for. That's what I think. Hey, look, I'm sad her Twitter got deleted because that was a great late night find. I'm not gonna lie. You just go to those pages, scroll through, see what she's liking. You know, it's a good time. But
that was insanity when that day we found her likes. That was insanity.
But you know the thing about her, like how much her fault that she's in a division where literally she has to fight Valentina. Because I mean, she is absolutely. I know it's boring because it's like 9 decisions in a row, and I think it's 9. I'm gonna have to fact check that. I want to give y'all no false news on the pod, but she is such a good striker, and you could tell this fight like she wanted that finish bad as hell. She was
trying to get it.
At that last round, she was trying to, but like, what do you do? She wins. She's ran through the division, so I mean, outside of Valentina, what else is there for her to do? Like nobody's beating her. So it's just an awful position for her.
And that's the tough part too, because it's a business. Like you got to treat it like a business, and she's not going to draw any eyes. Let's be honest.
Not at all.
She's not going to get anybody out of bed to go be like, oh, I got to go watch a Caitlin Chikagian fight. You know what I mean?
If they publicize her likes, maybe she could.
I like to watch her. I ain't gonna lie.
I like to watch her likes. I'm not sure about no, but I mean. I don't know. Whenever you got 9 decisions and you're a top 5 fighter, undoubtedly a top 5 fighter. You've only lost 2 fights, and they're to 2 of the top girls in the division. It's tough. It's tough. But
it's super tough because she's so talented. Like she dominated this fight. I mean, I know she fought Maya again, but Maya is no slouch, relatively speaking, and she just dominated her. Maya
it was nasty 30-27, like absolutely no doubt at all. Those were all 30-27s.
Yeah, but it's not something that we haven't seen before too. There was a wrestler in the heavyweight division, Jared Rosholt, that was 4-0. Then he finally lost one and they cut him immediately. It was like
they said that boring ass shit gotta go.
That boring ass shit gotta get out of here. I was scared of Kamaru Usman early on in his UFC career because that's what I thought they were gonna do. I was like, as soon as he loses, he's out. Especially Dana was on his ass.
He was so bored.
Yeah. Dana was scared as hell. Dana was pissed as hell. I just don't remember that whole 30% debacle. He's like, 30%. You put 30% of everybody to sleep. You fucking. It's like, Jesus, Dana.
But you know, the thing is with Usman, he's a great champion. We love him, but he's still very much boring. Like, I mean, charisma-wise, I promise you, Dana would love if Kobe Covington was his champ right now. All politics aside. But
I got a hot take on black men in the UFC.
Uh-oh.
I feel like,
we're about to get canceled.
No,
yeah, we made it 10 episodes and now you about to have us in the heat.
No, I feel like we're missing a lot of potential from black men that just don't want to do that they just don't want to do that grappling shit. And that's really where I feel like it is. It's just like, hey, we know every one of us knows a dude in the hood with some hands, a freaky athleticism and coordination. But you tell him, hey, bro, you could be a pro MMA fighter, and then you take him to jiu-jitsu class. You're like, I ain't doing this gay shit.
That's literally Kevin Holland.
I ain't doing that. That's their last day in MMA.
Back,
they're like, wait, what?
Listen, homophobia is holding back the black MMA community, and I'm trying to tell you straight up that is what it is.
I'm on board with this take.
It's a good take.
It's Kevin Holland. It's literally that.
Hey, Kevin Holland. Hey, there we go.
He is literally every bit of this take. Bro, like that man he got wrestled 2 times and he's like,
yeah. He could be so good if he would just, embrace it. It is what it is. But
we're gonna get more black kids in the MMA. I'm gonna go round up some kids around the area and just start putting them in classes.
I'm telling you, the opportunity is there. I mean, we got 3 African champions right now. Ain't no reason why
black people can really dominate the sport.
Y'all don't listen to this. This is awful. No, go play football, bro.
Specifically for Texas.
You are gonna make more money in your NIL than Dana White will charge you for catching CTE for like 18 rounds, bro.
That's true.
Go play basketball. Go play football. Play some soccer, maybe. Don't get concussed.
Go become an elite nose tackle and then come to Texas. That's what you should do.
That's what we need.
That's what we need, bro.
Yeah.
We got a controversial decision here. Brandon Royval got a decision in a close fight against Rogerio Bontorin, and this fight was about as good as we thought it was going to be. Yeah. But I picked Bontorin, so I was biased. I'll give you that. But I thought Bontorin won the fight, but obviously it was very close. And I was teetering on my pick before the fight. I almost switched to Royval like twice. So
you did. Tease did actually text me. I want to say like the night before was talking about switching his picks, and I bullied him into not let him do it because we both picked both in the dirt.
He's so good, man. He moves. He never stops moving. Like he literally never stops moving. Like it's crazy.
But even when I was watching the fight, and I was in and out, I was literally doing something in the kitchen and like peeking around and looking, but I didn't see him losing that fight. And I know it's hard when we make our picks, I'm like, no, now that's my guy. I got to ride with that. But it really didn't seem like he lost that fight at all. So I made like a note to like go back and watch the fight because I want to see it.
Yeah, I picked Royval to win, and I think Bontorin won the fight. So there you go. Like
it was a tough fight to judge, but I couldn't tell whether I was like, oh, Bontorin won, or whether my brain was just like, oh, I picked the right fight, I picked the right guy. But I didn't think it was going to be a controversial. I was like, okay, Bontorin won a close fight, and then it's like, oh, Royval got a unanimous. I think it was unanimous too.
No, it was split. It was a split decision.
Okay.
It was a split decision. I think Bontorin did just enough to squeeze it out, but I wouldn't go to. I don't know. Any split decision is going to be controversial, especially in MMA with these.
That's fair.
But it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. I thought Bontorin won, but I'll take the pick that I got right. So
anytime we see a good flyweight fight that does not involve the 2 dudes that are fighting in the car we're going to talk about this coming weekend, I'm always happy because we almost didn't have a flyweight division. And so it feels like the flyweight division's got some guys in it that we should be paying some attention to. And I love that because it's been fun kind of seeing them fill out that division. But there was a time where the flyweight division looked like the lightweight division does now, which is who the fuck is in that division and why do we care about them? And so,
sadly, the best thing to happen in that division was Demetrius Johnson leaving and Henry Cejudo winning. I mean, also Henry Cejudo. People forget if TJ Dillashaw beat Henry Cejudo in that fight, that division would have been gone. They were getting rid of it. They already had everybody cut and everything, and then Henry was saying, "Oh, I want to be the face of it," yada yada yada. And then he ended up going to 135 and never fighting in it again. But God, Henry is something else. But no, that division, that division is solid. And now that you got people in there, you have parity in that division for the first time in its existence. So now you're starting to see all it's going to take is just more and more results and people seeing that these fighters are capable of competing on that elite level with the Brandon Morinos and Figgies. Because right now I still think everybody thinks there's a huge gap, but I'm watching Bontarine fight. I'm watching Kai Kara France fight. I'm watching Brandon Royval fight. And I'm saying, okay, these dudes are legit. Like they can really get it done in there. So it's a fun division to follow. And it's exciting now. Dudes are, I don't know where they got this power from, but they're way more powerful now than they were when.
And it's like, they're so fast. I like Askarov. I like Pantoja. Like there are 7 or 8 dudes in that division that I'm keeping my eye on, which is all I could really ask for of a division, especially one that I know has the history of the flyweights and how Dana was trying to 86 it the whole time. So watching this fight, I was like, this is a close fight. And also I can't wait to see these two dudes fight again because we need more fights in that division that people care about. So
I ain't heard I ain't heard 86 in so damn long. You gave me PTSD. I never want to wait another table in my damn life. I'd hear another items 86. I really don't like you for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
What else I got? There was the battle of the mid heavyweights. Jake Collier beat Chase Sherman. He subbed him, and it happened very fast.
Yes,
and he subbed him in like 2 minutes.
That was absolutely awful.
Chase Sherman, what were you doing, bro? That was nasty.
Chase Sherman is a lot of things. Good isn't one of them, but exciting is. You know, when you watch him fight, he's either putting somebody out or getting put out, or you know, I mean, like I know he has 2 decisions in his last like 3 since he came back to the UFC, but man, I've met the dude in person. Super duper nice guy. Walked into Topgolf. Also PTSD. I'm thinking about Topgolf too much. 86 items and stuff. But Chase Sherman, poor dude. I don't know what's next for him, but super.
That's my next question. What do you do with him?
I have no clue. Because right now he has.
You cut him.
Let's see. Yeah, he has.
I mean, that's an easy answer. You cut him.
He's 3-8 in the UFC currently. So, but you need contenders at the heavyweight division. I don't know.
3-8.
He's 3-8 in the UFC right now.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I can go in there right now and be 3-8.
How tall are you, by the way?
That's to be determined.
Yeah,
to be determined. Well, listen,
that boy put the fifth on his height.
You know how I know I love telling people I'm 5'8" all the time. It's like my favorite thing to do. But Jake, do y'all remember when Jake was super skinny?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
He was insanely skinny, and now he is absolutely so bad built.
Extremely.
He's called his man bad built.
Did you see him?
Did you see him?
Like, I know we're supposed to bring good insight and talk about the technical parts of UFC, but like, bro, if you're gonna have your shirt off, at least have a little self-respect. I mean, do a little cut, do a little lifting or something. If I was shaped like that, I would have fought in a t-shirt because that was awful.
Oh. They gotta let these heavyweights fight in rash guards for real.
And then he got
it's not, children shouldn't see people walking around like that.
He might not have even landed a punch in this fight. It was nasty. It was very nasty.
Yeah.
Chase Sherman, we don't want to see you anymore, bro. All due respect.
Yeah.
All right, let's hang it up, bro. Let's go find out what we're doing after our UFC career. Let's go figure that out.
There's about 10 other heavyweights I feel the exact same way about.
Go to Bellator and see what's
absolutely
popping over there.
An awful division.
Yeah, Jared.
That's why we need.
Not trying to see you either. Sorry.
We need Francis and Gon to be absolutely a close fight. Because again, that division is awful. I hear John Jones talking about he's watching it, whatever. But I hate how that division has so much potential, man. I remember it's always been pretty terrible. Now, that's one thing that we can honestly say. even like when Brock Lesnar was running through, like that wasn't the time that I don't think everybody's like, oh, that was a great time. Go back and
That
watch
was a
those fights.
nasty era. That was a nasty era.
It was
Brock
nasty.
He beat a 210-pound, 48-year-old Randy Couture for the title.
Like, I was in Buffalo Wild Wings for that fight. I remember. I was like, man, this is the golden age of big men in UFC. And now I'm looking back, I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you?
That's nasty. So we can talk about the main event. And going into the main event, obviously Stefan got this pick right. He picked Kattar. I judged him for it. And I think I made in picking Giga, I made a mistake that a lot of people did. Giga was the favorite of just, we are such a what have you done for me lately fan base when it comes to MMA fans, myself included, obviously. So after we saw Kattar about a year to the day of this fight, actually, go in there against Max, who we all respect, and we all know Max is that guy, completely destroy Kattar, and probably one of the most lopsided fights in UFC history in terms of like how many significant strikes that he landed. It was hard to remember that Kattar was really that guy to get that fight in the first place. Kattar was a great fighter. He was knocking everybody out to get that fight in the first place. Yep. But because it was so lopsided, it becomes easy to just think about the last fight. And Giga obviously was undefeated coming into this fight. Giga has said out of his mouth on camera, this exists, that he is the best boxer in the UFC. I said last week on this podcast, he is not even the best boxer in that division. And I don't know if he's a better boxer than Calvin Kattar, but we're going to see. And the way that the fight played out, we got to see he is not a better boxer than Calvin Kattar.
He's not top four in that division.
I would agree with that.
He's not top four. Go ahead.
The thing that just impressed me so much was the amount of pace and pressure that Kattar put on him from the jump. I did not expect that. I mean, it was like, damn, you are literally stalking the shit out of him. And you really didn't expect that because, I mean, a lot of people thought Giga was going to be able to win that fight, but that was a major, major win for Kattar, especially, like you said, coming off of a destroyer from Max. I mean, Max absolutely worked that man. So,
yeah. I wasn't expecting – well, this is the thing. I think Calvin Kattar found out he had a chin and then turned into Nate Diaz in there, just walking him down, eating shots left and right. That's not what I was expecting. But I picked Giga to win, and I thought the reason why was Kattar has fought two guys that I would classify as elite technical strikers, right? Beforehand. I would say Max is an elite technical striker. Whenever he wants to be, he can also rely on that chin, but he can turn it up, and his technique is incredible whenever he's actually getting it going. And that forward pressure is a lot, right? And then also the big fight for me was a guy like Zabit, who's extremely technical, long, and fast, just like Giga is. So I was like, oh, Giga's got cardio. He's long, he's fast, he's technical. He's going to give Kattar problems. This is the type of fighter that gives Kattar problems. It's the long, technical, fast guys, right? And yeah, Kattar didn't give a shit about any of that. He walked him down. He straight up just walked him down and started dogging him. It was wild to see. He fought him just like Max would. Let's be honest.
And you saw that in that second round. Like Giga tagged him a few times, and you saw it. Whereas Kattar's like, okay, this doesn't have quite the sting I thought on it. I'm about to. He's like, okay, it's on now. I'm really gonna come in and get closer. You stay under pressure wise. So I agree with that statement.
He took his kicks away. Like Giga is known as he's a kickboxer, but like we know him for his kicks. Obviously, in Giga's last fight, he won with his hands against Barboza, but he's known for his kicks. Well, when the pressure was so crazy that Giga couldn't kick because he couldn't figure out the range. He couldn't keep the space because Kattar was just like, no, I'm in your face all day.
Yeah.
In the first round, Giga tried to kick and got taken down and got held down the mat. Then it was like, okay, so I'm not going to be able to beat this guy with just my hands, but I also can't beat this guy in the wrestling. Giga felt it, and then he was frozen. It was like, he's going to be able to take me down if I kick a lot, and I can't even get my kicks off anyway the way I would want to because Kattar's closing the distance. And it's like I think about this in terms of like I watch a lot of basketball, and in basketball, it's always a game of runs. You can't let a team start to get a run and start to build momentum. And Kattar couldn't break or Giga couldn't break the run. Like he knew there was forward pressure, and you have to get that respect. You have to land a shot that gets you respect. And Giga landed shots. But Kattar didn't care. Kattar was just like, okay, the pressure won't stop. And if you can't keep that guy off of you, and obviously we don't know how Giga trains, but we've never seen Giga go through that in a fight, like in a professional fight. So with that kind of forward pressure, I think Giga was just frozen. And props to Giga for staying in there because he got hit with those elbows were disgusting, man.
Yeah, I think Giga's weakness got exposed, and it's the same weakness that Edson Barboza has. Yes, you have nice footwork, but you circle around and they plant to kick. They circle around, they plant to kick. Even if they're like on the defensive, they circle around, have the space, plant, time, kick. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why Edson Barboza has these highlight reel knockouts off his back foot, like going, or not even off his back foot, but like having someone come forward to him and hitting that flying knee on Beneil Dariush. Disgusting flying knee, by the way. That's like
absolutely
a staple, like the Giga kick, hitting Cub Swanson with that and finishing him to the body. When you don't give them that space to operate, they have a lot of trouble. It's the same thing that Justin Gaethje did. Granted, way less technical and way more powerful from Justin Gaethje against Edson Barboza, but it's the same thing. That forward pressure against that guy that's a long, rangy striker. Like that's the formula to beat that type of guy that can keep the space on the outside with that footwork, because not everybody has Israel Adesanya level evasive footwork. That's what I think got exposed with Giga. He's not cutting angles off with his footwork. He's just circling. And once Calvin recognized that, ate some of his shots, it was over.
He switched to southpaw several times during that fight to cut it off too. They made mention of that several times during the actual commentary. But you bring up a good point about, that pressure is the ultimate thing that really negates a lot of fights. And I think that's something that, like, you have to be able to weather the storm. But like you said, it's a catch-22. Either you can get knocked the hell out, or like that's not a great list of options. It's like, okay, either I get knocked out or I survive the storm. But I mean, hell, you're fighting. So what other options do you have? Yeah. But I thought about that with like Amanda, and when she lost, it was a lot of, okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and take some of these shots and, try to weather the storm. And once the storm was weathered, it was like, okay, oh shit moment.
It was funny because forward. Amanda lost in the same way that she beat Cyborg in. She got taken to. Like the fight got taken to her.
Which is crazy because I remember going into the Cyborg fight. I was like, well, at least Cyborg gonna sit there and go toe to toe with her, and she's not gonna be scared to take a shot. And then the fight started, and I was like, oh, Cyborg is in hell. Like she don't want to be in a brawl.
She didn't want to be there at all.
Be in a brawl at all.
No, she can't handle when someone's in her face. Same thing with Amanda.
It's different with your cardio. When you are the one dictating the pace, you dictate the cardio. And Cater, who it was clear had better cardio than Giga, which we could have never known going to the fight. But because Giga was fighting off his back foot and circling, and Cater was the one coming forward, it was clear that, I'm just going to use my cardio as a weapon. And Cater, he slowed down in the fifth, but he really never got tired. Whereas Giga, by round 2, you could tell that's not the same guy. Like
when it's not where you want to be, you start getting tired. Like like when it's not, like if you want to push the pace, if you want to control it, like you can see a lot of guys are not comfortable when it flips on them. Like not everybody is, like I said, like not everybody is Israel Adesanya. I use him as an example because he is perfectly fine leading the dance or waiting for it to come to him. If someone is coming at him, perfect example, beginning of the Robert Whittaker fight. Robert Whittaker was blitzing him like crazy. And what did he do?
He's landing shit too.
Step, slip. Okay, you got that one. Cool. I'm still circling. I'm still like, you have to be comfortable in that chaos of like someone coming forward and running at you. It takes a lot of patience.
Y'all know I got some hot takes on that Whittaker Izzy 2 fight, so I don't want to go there, but I started to feel it in my soul. I started to shake a little bit because I have some takes about that fight, but we'll leave that alone.
You big Robert Whittaker guy?
No, not a big Whittaker guy, but I think that was the closest. For some reason, yes, that fight ended very quick in the second round, but I still feel like that was the most Izzy was tested in a fight in a long time.
And Whittaker's bad. Whittaker's much better than he was when they fought last.
I'll put it this way. Whittaker had a good formula, but he took it too far. He wanted to he really wanted to close that distance and land the shot. And he was close a couple of times, but you can't do, like, it looked good from his perspective, but you can't do that against someone that knows the openings there. Like, you have to be way more calculated and disguise it.
Izzy is setting the trap, and you see it look like a meal to you when that's a trap. Yeah. And Izzy, you fell for the trap. Boom.
Izzy saw it happen over and over and over again, and because he's so good, it was okay. I see it this way. Okay, I see it this way. I'm countering. Okay, I see it this way. I'm going to counter. okay, I'm seeing it this way. I'm going to counter, then add something else. Then I'm going to see it another way, add something like he continued to add onto the counter because that's how repetitive Robert Whitaker was with that. And yes,
see, that's the thing, though, when you have such a technical, one of those great strikers like that, they're not wasting energy. They're perfectly countering you. That's a totally different situation. Even when you're pushing a pace, you're still putting yourself in a bad spot. But like we talked about with the pressure, I feel like that's such a big thing because, like, you see it in every single sport. You don't want to be the one on the defensive. You know, once you lose that composure and you're not attacking anymore, you start to second guess yourself. And you saw that with Giga. It was like, oh God, I'm not the same person. My confidence is literally going. You can see people's confidence be just shot. So I think that's one of the big things with him is just that pressure has to be so consistent. And I think about with the fight with Francis and Gane, I feel like Francis literally needs to be attacking and being aggressive, and I don't know if he does that with this fight. I really don't think he does.
Gane's one of those guys that so much
cardio, bro.
And he will that's literally it. Yeah. He will sit there and counter you and just eat a little kicks and go. I don't know.
And you can be shocked.
We'll get to that fight later.
You can be shot quickly and early on. I mean, ask the Cowboys.
That's right.
Went out there and got smacked up early and couldn't recover.
But thinking about this and thinking about the pace, but think about the pace that they had in that fight. You know who I think the perfect match is for Kattar?
I was just about to ask that. Go ahead.
Him and Yair Rodriguez.
That's a gas. That's gas. That's a great fight.
That's perfect.
That's who's stepping back first? I don't even know who's going to fight on the back foot. It feels like both of them are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going forward. And we just going to have a big crash in the middle of the octagon.
Like we saw how amazing Yair was after being off for almost a year. And one of the big things we talked about, TJ, I think we even talked about after that fight is you just got to fight more. But him coming off a quick fight and this quick turnaround, that would be an absolute electric ass fight.
He got his ass whooped in the last fight, but he was out there.
Hold on now, T. She didn't get his ass whooped now. Come on now.
I mean, he fought a great fight, but he also took a lot of damage. He was out there chirping at Volkanovski, trying to get the fight before Korean Zombie got it. So if he was ready to fight in March, he should be ready to fight whenever Kattar is ready. So I would love to see him get back in there. I also wouldn't mind seeing Kattar get in there with Brian Ortega, who's also going to be looking for a fight after he lost the championship match. And Ortega is a whole nother. He can't strike with Kattar, he can't box with him, but he can if you get around that neck, it might get real nasty. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think Yair is probably the person I want to see him going there with the most though.
Ortega can go fight. The top of featherweight is amazing, and he's coming back soon. Who I think is the best one in this division. If he could get his cardio figured out, good God, that nobody's beating him. But the top of that division's wild. I wanted to ask y'all too. Speaking of this featherweight division, how do you guys feel about Korean Zombie stepping in against Volkanovski as a replacement? Because me personally, I hate it.
I love Korean Zombie with the absolute passion. Disclaimer: if you heard the podcast, you hear me say this every single time. But him and Yair Rodriguez is literally one of my favorite fights ever of all time, just because of how chaotic it ended. But yeah, that fight does nothing for me. Like I like him, think he's a great fighter, but he's not a championship level fighter.
No. So what? I'm about to have a blast anyway. I know who's gonna win the fight.
And Volk has two false wins. So I mean, he's a fraudulent champion in my opinion.
Two.
This is probably
okay. You thought okay.
All right. He maybe won the first one. Let's say he won the first one.
I think he lost the second one.
Ain't no way in hell.
For sure.
He lost the second one. I'm glad this is an anti-Volkanovski podcast that I'm on.
Okay, no, it's just me because T's just trying to flip sides.
I love Max Holloway, and Volkanovski definitely lost that second fight. But I gotta say, I like the way that Volk has handled this. You agree to fight Max Holloway again, knowing damn well that he beat you at least one of them times. No arguments. We're going to sign up for the fight. The fight falls through. Okay, cool. Everybody in the division is adding him, calling him crazy. Okay, cool. Volkanovski said, I want to fight Korean Zombie because he's a legend. I think the fight's going to be fun as hell. And I have to respect the way Volk handles it. He's not scared of none of these dudes. He's not scared of Henry Cejudo, who was chirping at him as well. I like the way Volk carries it. However, I do need to see Volk go on there and destroy a top-level guy before I can say that he's the best featherweight in the world. I can't say he's the best featherweight in the world.
He can't. There's not a single person he could destroy in that division.
His performance against Brian Ortega was incredible, though.
I was impressed. I was very impressed.
His performance against Brian, I mean, he beat Aldo. He beat Brian Ortega. He gives Max Holloway problems, which you have to admit. Granted, it's with leg kicks and it's annoying, but it's technical. My thing was, out of the 3 names that were thrown out there, right? Why are you publicly calling out the easiest one?
Because you're smart.
Because you're never going to have a chance to fight him again. He's won 3 of his last 4 fights. And if you wait, he never.
And you don't want to fight Yair. You're not going to fight Yair after he came off a loss.
Facts.
It makes sense. I
mean, this is the only logical way that you could go.
I love the fight, even though I know who's going to win the fight.
I would have loved to see Henry Cejudo. That was the
there we go. Get Triple C out there.
Me too, but I'm still doubting whether Henry Cejudo is actually serious about wanting.
No, he is not. The man is absolutely just playing around on Twitter.
He re-entered the testing pool.
That's true.
So I think he wants to come back. He's not going to come back now, though. It's going to be on his own terms.
It'll be late this year.
I would love to see Cejudo come back. I don't even care what division he comes back into. I think he comes back on the MSG card later on this year. If he comes back at featherweight, though, that division is scary, bro. Respectfully, Cejudo, I know you the man. Them niggas up at the top of featherweight are beasts, bro. Are absolute beasts. It's just a scary division right now at the top.
It's only gonna happen. It's only gonna happen if it's a guy that he can match up with physically. He's already said he does not want to go in there and fight a Max Holloway, who's 5'11" and got all sorts of length on him.
I wouldn't want to go box that lanky ass dude who's gonna box my face off either.
Exactly. He gonna throw 8,000 punches in the first round. No, we got time for that.
Not. He never gets tired. He gonna throw 97. I saw a stat the other day. You saw the Kattar Giga fight. Max landed almost double the amount of significant strikes in the Max Kattar fight as Kattar did against Giga, which is crazy because it felt like Kattar was hitting Giga with a big shot every 10 seconds. It was like double. Max Holloway.
What was the actual stat? I remember we talked about
Max Holloway landed more strikes. I think Max Holloway landed more strikes in his fight against Kattar than John Jones has absorbed in his entire career. That's like a real stat. Like
it is. I remember them saying that.
It's either that or it's like the Kattar and Ortega fights combined or some shit. Still, regardless, it's ridiculous.
We will probably never see a numerical output like that in terms of landing ever again. Nobody gets hit that much in a fight and stays up. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm sure
round by round, his strikes were first round was 56 out of 108. 89 out of 164, 75 out of 139, 141 out of 191.
How do you get 141 times in 5 minutes?
Yo, bro, so this is not real life experience, so please don't translate this over to anything. But when I'm out there in the metaverse boxing, bro, when I threw 100 punches one time, I was sweating.
Bro, your arms feel like they're about to fall off. You can't throw that many punches.
And I'm not hitting anything. I'm throwing in the air. So imagine landing 141 punches against another human being in the 4th round, bro.
That's insane.
They would have had to cart me out.
No. Your arms are tired. Your hands hurt. Everything is horrible right there.
Forget about throwing the punches. Keeping your arm up in guard for that long hurts. Just guarding, that shit hurts. Your muscles are not used to just stay up here by my face for 5 minutes. You never do that.
Just do this and move around on your feet for 25 minutes.
That's insane. Max Holloway is not a human. He's not a human, bro.
No,
he's literally not human.
They build those Islanders different. Him and Mark Hunt got chins. You can hit them motherfuckers with a goddamn shovel and they're not going out. It's not.
And his training style is so cool too. He did a lot of I think one time he did he was just boxing on air. He did no sparring.
He did no sparring. He was just like, no, I'm good.
He said he adds stuff that he sees on the EA UFC games to his.
I know, right? Bro, what? Max is somewhere in the Oculus right now, absolutely giving a poor person hell. Imagine if you were in Oculus and you think, it's Max Holloway just absolutely punching this shit at you. And you're just like, dog, screw this game, yo.
How is he rolling under all my?
I got hit 300 times.
Oh my god! Can you box other people on the VR boxing?
Yes, you can,
and
bro.
I am.
No, you're not.
Tej
Don't lie to the people.
I'm not gonna lie. Tej is the most recent winner, but when it comes down to it, he's kind of like a Jorge Masvidal. He's a journeyman. He got me one time post COVID, but other than that, I've been putting him in the dirt. So
I gotta get this. Y'all gonna have to see me,
it's
especially Tej. No, Tej, you got to see me.
I'm the champ right now, so you got to go through Stephon first, and you got to take
for this cowboy shit.
Buck.
You got to see me for this cowboy shit. I'm telling you right now, TJ, if you put the Longhorns as your Abby on Twitter the entire season,
I'm never doing that again. I realize now I will never put the Longhorns as my Abby ever again. That will never happen.
We need you to put up a gun. Can you put a picture of gun?
I'm putting up a picture of gun.
Absolutely not.
Listen, I've locked in my bet, sadly, on that, so I really need somebody to kind of help me.
I'm going gone on this one, but
who do y'all I obviously want Giga to step down in terms of competition. Who in that division makes sense? I was thinking maybe Josh Emmett, but my son Josh Emmett would beat the hell out of Giga, no disrespect, after what I just saw, because Josh Emmett also don't care about getting punched. He's just gonna walk you down too. And I love Josh Emmett. That's my son. I want the best for him.
I would say a fight with him and Brian Ortega would be fun, but then again, you want a rebound fight.
Hell yeah, he better not go in there with Brian Ortega.
No, the perfect matchup is right there with Thug Nasty.
Ooh. Bryce Mitchell.
I kind of like that.
Anything that gets Bryce Mitchell to stop rapping, I'm all for.
Hey man.
Okay, have y'all heard it yet? I've only heard that he raps, but I have not pressed play because I love myself.
I've heard all my grandmother's grave. Actually, I'm doing a live show tomorrow, so I had to write some excerpts from his song. So here's some notes. Here's some lyrics from it.
Yes.
Y'all don't know where I'm from. I get paid in them crumbs. Pain remains in my brain. I can't profess with my tongue. I resort to my fist. That's as real as it gets. I'm gonna die real young. I took too many hits.
Hey, I need that, dog. You can send that for my playlist in the morning.
That one is called.
I play that, and I play. If I play that rock song, and then some groove and gorilla, I'm gonna be in a zone in the morning, boy.
This man has the worst playlist ever known to man. Lifting in the gym, getting swole. That's disgusting.
It's horrible.
All right, I got a couple announced fights to throw at y'all. Y'all give me some takes about these fights. The first one's gonna be very mid, but tell me what you think about this fight. In February, Rosenstrike is fighting Marcin Tybura in February. The mid bowl, somebody getting retired.
Badly built bowl.
The bad built bowl.
These are the dudes that are in everybody else's highlight. When you're watching the intros to Gon and Ngannou, you're gonna see a lot of Rosenstrike getting knocked the fuck out because that's what he does. Francis knocked him out, the nastiest I've ever seen a person get knocked out. It was the nastiest.
He should have been ashamed of his damn self for that.
Terrible.
Well, anyway, these two dudes are fighting. Somebody gonna get knocked out. Not that exciting. Are y'all excited about this fight or no?
Absolutely not. Never gonna be excited over a Rosenstrike fight. He's from Suriname, which is next to where my dad's from, Guyana. So shout out to the South American black men out there.
Shout out to that.
But yeah, no, not excited to watch him fight. Hope he gets slept. No, I'm kidding.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
No. I think Rosenstrike gets it done actually.
They both really need
I
to
agree
win.
with that. I mean, he's so awful, but he's not bad.
No.
Like he's lost to Dan Francis, he lost to Gon, and then who else did he lose to? He lost to Curtis
Blades,
and Curtis
Blades wrestled him.
Listen, if we told Curtis he couldn't wrestle me, I'm lasting at least 3 rounds with Buddy.
Nah, I like this take. Turn that up. That's swag. I'm not gonna say it because I'm pussy, but I like the fact that you said it.
Yeah, you gotta have my back. Y'all can be in my corner.
I got your back.
Hey, he was kind of when he was fighting Derek Lewis, he was kind of piecing his ass up a little bit. And then
that's Derek Lewis, though, man. Derek Lewis is the most. I don't. Feast or Phantom person. It's Feast or Phantom.
Don't disrespect Houston in this podcast. Don't do it.
I'm just telling you.
I wanted to go to Houston when he fought Cyril Gane, but I was like, I'm not trying to get jumped out here.
I'm glad that you did
actively
not go.
root for Cyril Gane.
Yeah, you would have been the only man doing that.
No,
I don't even think he has fans like that.
No, definitely he does not. No, I just remember going to Houston for I just remember going to Houston for Oliveira and Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's like, I just can't wait to go to Houston and see all these red, white, and blue-blooded Americans. And I was like, you ain't been to Houston.
Been to Houston, have you?
Yeah.
Houston new to you, isn't it?
Me and my friend, every time we walking around, all the Hispanic dudes with bowl cuts are like red, white, and blue-blooded American right there, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't take anything Chandler says serious. That man has the most aggressive form of CTE. Yeah.
He speaks in inspirational quotes. The motherfucker just sounds like an elementary school wall with nothing but posters.
I generally hate people who only speak in inspirational quotes. That's why I don't like Michael Chandler. I hate that.
I've never liked Michael Chandler since he stepped foot in the UFC. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I actually like Michael Chandler.
Exciting fighter. Exciting fighter.
Yeah,
extremely exciting fighter. That's why he has CTE though. The gift and the curse. What else we got? Nate and Dustin Poirier continue to tweet each other back and forth, including today. Today is Wednesday when we're filming. They've been tweeting back and forth, and I'm still holding out hope that when I'm in Houston next month for 271, this fight is a part of it. Because if you pull up the 271 card right now, the second best fight is probably Derek Lewis versus who the hell is he fighting again? The shoey dude.
Shoey guy. He's gonna get cooked.
Which is nasty that's the second best fight on the card that has Israel Adesanya. They need another fight on that card. Please, Dana, let me see Nate Diaz get beat up on this card. I love Nate Diaz. I would love to see him get beat up on this card. Because
I keep forgetting that you're going to that one.
You preaching to the choir right there. I mean, well, Cannonier and Brunson's on that card too.
Oh, that's true. That's
a banger. That's a banger.
That's a banger too. That's probably a title.
Ooh, but yeah, the rest of that card is
real nasty.
But nobody wants to watch Nate fight Dustin Poirier.
Oh, I do. Well,
why?
I would rather Nate fight somebody like Tony Ferguson so I can see him win. But Nate Diaz is fun. I watched Nate Diaz fight almost anybody.
Hold up. Let me tell you something right now, Tish. I think Dustin will have him in hell. Right?
Absolutely in hell. That shit ain't going past one round.
Let him finish though. Let him finish.
Like them Pacific Islanders. You hit Nate Diaz in the head with the shovel, he's walking through it.
True.
I'm telling you, Dustin slows down too, and that jiu-jitsu is no joke from Nate. He might.
Oh, I would love this.
He might win that fight.
I would love this. I would fucking love this. He
might win that fight. Now listen, I understand Dustin is amazing, but I also think Dustin, because he's the face of the Conor McGregor haters, you know what I mean? Like the face of the anti-Conor McGregor fanboys. That like people overrate him. Like bro, Dustin Poirier.
Come on now.
Hold on.
Talking to somebody who overrates him.
Hold up. Dustin Poirier was ranked top 5 pound for pound before his last fight against Charles Oliveira.
Big cap. It was big cap.
Based off of what? Like bro, he's ranked above Robert Whittaker, and Robert Whittaker has a way better resume than Dustin Poirier.
But look, who did Dustin was in hell by Khabib?
Yeah.
Everybody
was. Yeah.
We can excuse that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But not everybody got choked up by Charles Oliveira, though.
No, Charles Oliveira has been putting on the show, so we have to give that man some respect now.
Dustin Poirier also got sent to the Shadow Realm by Michael Johnson. And
but Dustin also had Gaethje in hell.
No, I mean,
That's
for
true.
sure.
That's true.
Gaethje, I'm not saying he's not bad. Is that top 5 pound for pound, though? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Especially not when he got his neck snapped off by Charles Oliveira.
If Conor had won that fight, y'all would have been here talking about Connor's the greatest, this and that.
That's true.
No,
but Dustin put him in hell.
I was gonna do that anyway because that's how I am.
So Dustin had that man in hell. Dustin is
I'm not a Conor fanboy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Dustin was people sort of overrate Dustin's skill set. I picked Charles to win that fight. I thought it was going to look exactly like it. That wasn't even competitive. Let's be honest here. That fight was not
at all.
It was not competitive. He hit him with one good shot, stumbled him a little bit. Right after that, Charles got right back up and put him in hell. Let's be honest. Like,
if Nate Diaz beats Dustin Poirier, we're gonna have a special edition of this podcast. I'm gonna need at least 7 hours to tell Stefan about all the lies that he told on this podcast. I'm calling it sick.
He was one of my annual leave days. There's no way that happens.
I think Dustin should win, but what I'm saying is Dustin does slow down. Dustin does slow down later on in fights. It is a thing that happens. It's the same reason why he had to hold Max Holloway up against the fence later on in that fight. He had him in hell in the first 2 rounds.
He was cooking Max.
Yeah, he was cooking Max. He won the fight 100%. But also, if he didn't have that size advantage and at 155, because Max looked like he just ate his way up. Like he didn't really bulk on. Like Max just looked like he ate more. Let's be honest. No,
he did the easy.
Yeah, he just didn't.
I ate a few pizzas.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think Dustin slows down later on in those fights. We don't see him in a 4th and 5th round often, and if he can't put Nate Diaz away, it's gonna be tough.
And you saw what Nate did to Rocky. Now, don't act like you didn't see the last 30 seconds.
What he did to who?
My son, what he did to Rocky. You saw what he did.
Man, don't get me started on that black man.
You saw what he did to Leon. You saw what he did.
Leon's capable too, man. I'm trying to tell you. Like,
don't. You sleep on Nate Diaz, bro.
Now, I mean, Nate Diaz did get worked for 24 minutes of that fight.
Hey, we forgetting that
exactly.
24 minutes.
That man fought for 30 seconds, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, look at him, he's amazing."
I will say this. I do want to see Nate Diaz get slept because I'm tired of this. Oh, if the fight just doesn't get stopped, Nate Diaz wins everything.
That's every fan's take. It's like, oh, give Nate 2 more rounds. Bro, that's not how it works. Like, what?
That's how it should work. If he's still standing and DP can't get rid of him in 5 rounds, we should.
See, this is why Teej can't take Dana White's spot, because he's going to have a real blood sport. He's just going to come there and you're like, okay, I won all these rounds. And Teej is like, surprise, 3 more rounds, bitch, go fight.
Yeah. But I will say this. If Dustin doesn't put him away in the first 2, I'd be scared if I were Yusufa. I'd be scared. I'd be like, oh, shit. Like what the fuck's about to happen? Because he's going to start.
This is not good advice to the listeners who are betting, because that's who the people we have to speak to. Well, don't listen to these guys.
Dana, put this fight on the Houston card, please, Dana. I am begging you, please. I would love to see Nate Diaz beat Dustin Poirier in person. Oh my god, I want to see it so bad. Next, we got Kevin Holland, who we mentioned earlier, is back in action. He's fighting Cowboy Oliveira, who's not a wrestler. So this is a good thing for Kevin Holland, right? Also, he's dropping down to 170, which is weird. But okay, he's going down to 170. He's fighting Cowboy Oliveira. That'll be in March. And if Kevin Holland loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear from him again. Don't ask me about Kevin Holland.
That's all he's good for now is talking.
Yeah.
He does talk well, including when he's getting beat up in the ring. He's still talking.
I just think when you look at the grand scheme of it, the fact that Kevin Holland has a knockout victory over Jacare Souza just doesn't sit right. Like it doesn't hit the same. But I'm excited to watch a Kevin Holland fight. I like it as long as he's not going up against a wrestler and just getting completely worked on the ground. I like the move to 172 because he's not going to be as out muscled there as he was at 185. So we'll see. But I like the fight. Alex Oliveira also puts on super exciting fights every time he's out there.
Every time.
Yeah.
We also got a light heavyweight matchup finally announced. It feels like Rockets has been trying to get a fight for at least 7 years now. He's fighting Jan Blachowicz, so our fallen champion is got to go get it back in blood against Rockets. I'm really excited for this fight. You know how I feel about lightweights. Them niggas are trash, but I'm really excited about this fight.
So I got into MMA because I'm a John Jones fan, right? And I heard a lot of that good shit from everybody about this light heavyweight division and how he was running away from Dominic Reyes, who then lost to Jan Blachowicz, old-ass Jan Blachowicz, who then lost to a 42-year-old fucking Glover Teixeira, who is now the champion of a weight class.
Now literally the champion of a weight class.
He is the champion of a weight class 8 years after getting the shit beat out of him in Baltimore by John Jones. That division is poverty. Let's be honest here. It's a poverty.
But that's
division.
John Jones' fault. Like on that pod, we talked about it. John Jones destroyed that division. He literally destroyed people, like tore their bodies apart. Yeah. Yes. His heart's body, all while doing coke and being a human.
Yeah.
But it is a very terrible division, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel for that division. My biggest hope was Izzy was going to gain weight and try to be serious, but Lord knows we can't count on Izzy to be damn serious. So he got destroyed by Jan.
That was embarrassing too, especially after he was talking a bunch of crap about John. He's like, you don't have to add weight to go up to weight class. It's like, dude, this is not kickboxing. No, man.
You literally got a fat man laying on you, bro.
I love Izzy, but it's just like, bro, you're going to have a 230-pound man that's not a good wrestler laying on. Like, Jan Blachowicz, by all means, is not a good grappler, guys. Like, not at all. Like he's
look like an all-pro grappler against Izzy because Izzy didn't bulk at all. Izzy went in there the same size he fought fucking everybody else at. I'm like, right, you didn't even. He lived one weight. Like, what are you doing?
That man said he ate some pizza, a few slices of pizza. Like, bro, that is not it.
Stupid. But this division though, like, I think there is hope. There's one guy. It's Yuri Bohachka. I mean, he's super duper exciting to watch.
He's super fun.
Yeah, he's super fun to watch. Do I think he's technically going to be a guy that can hold. I think he's going to slip up eventually and get caught by somebody.
He has to. He don't block. He don't play no defense.
Exactly. But yeah, no, this weight class is kind of up in the air right now. But this fight, Rakic and Blachowicz, I think it'll be interesting. But I don't know, Rakic frustrates me though too, because I hear so much about his kickboxing pedigree, and then every time I turn on the fight, it's two grown men wrestling on the ground.
You don't see it, exactly. Yeah, literally don't see it.
You saw it against Jimmy Manuel when he sent his ass flying through the air with a head kick, but other than that, I haven't really seen too much. It's a lot of promise, but not enough, actual results that I'm.
Jan went out very sad against Glover. Like, it's not that he lost a close fight; he got his ass whooped. And I don't know what happened there or what happened in the lead up, but I think Jan is a better fighter than that. But if he loses this fight, I don't know what to do, because he looked extremely bad against Glover, so he should be hungry. I'm looking forward to the fight, but I'm with you. I just don't trust Rakic. I just don't trust him yet.
That was a quick tap too. That was a quick ass
tap.
That was insane.
That was a quick tap. I was looking at Izzy like, hey, you lost to this dude.
I know, right? It made everything 1,000 times worse.
If Izzy lifted one weight, he might have won that fight.
Dude, imagine a different timeline where John Jones stays at that weight class and his sociopathic ass trains for fucking Israel Adesanya.
Oh my God.
Israel might have got an arm taken off in the cage.
Here's the thing. Izzy would have took that way more serious against John, because he hates John. He wants to fight John, and he would have bulked up and got serious for him. He saw John, he was like, oh, this big white guy. This country white guy.
All he gonna do is
he ain't beat me. Yeah.
He ain't punching me.
Exactly. I'm too quick.
I would say that, but still, John, there's something to be said about John taking fights seriously too, though. When you fighting guys like Thiago Santos and you not even attempting like a takedown, he attempted one takedown and it was very like not a real takedown attempt.
John Jones was letting Reyes beat his ass, and it wasn't because Reyes was on his level. It's because he didn't take the fight seriously.
Exactly. John Jones didn't take the Anthony Smith fight seriously. John Jones
has been he's been on cruise control for years. Which I mean, can you blame him?
That's why I think he's going up to heavyweight, and I actually think he does compete this year.
Okay, yeah, okay. He gonna get his name.
I don't think we see John Jones fight again. I don't think he can stay out of trouble.
No, that's a good point. Okay, that's a good point, but I do think we will see him fight again simply because of the camp that he's at now. He's training with Henry out there in Arizona. He's at a serious camp for the first time in 5-6 years because Jackson Wink ain't been shit.
Okay, but out there with Henry got my girl cooked against Thug Rose, so I'm not buying that camp yet.
Your man's Figgy is also hanging out with Cejudo as we speak right now.
And that's a great point, and why I'll wait and hold it.
She looked a whole lot better, though, than she did the first time.
She did, and we talked about that on the pod. I felt like she did really good with this camp, but John Jones is a whole nother. You can't teach that jackass anything. Even though I love him, he's up there on the wall in his little pop box, but still he's an asshole.
Oh, no, definitely. Shitty human being, but, I mean, hell, I'm paying to watch him fight.
Exactly.
We got Mackenzie Dern, who's going to fight Tisha Torres in April. At 273, which is a huge fight in that division.
Next.
Pretty big fight in that division, but obviously none of these people are finishing fights, so it's going to be a decision, but I'm looking forward to it anyway.
I was going to say something. I forgot I'm employed by a respectable company.
That's right. There you go.
The next one is actually, does anybody know Calvin Gastelum's record in the last 5 fights? If y'all know off the top of your head, do you know?
1-4?
Yes. Calvin Gastelum is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He is going to fight also at 273. He's fighting Imamov, who, if you remember, Imamov was the big French dude who won that fight that led to the Cyril Gane, Francis Ngannou stare down because they were backstage after Imamov won his fight. So this is that guy.
Is he back to 170? Or is it still at 185?
I think this is at 185.
Yeah, okay. Nasruddin Imavov. Imavov is like rising up the rankings a little bit right now.
Kevin Gastelum might be in some trouble.
Yeah, he's a tough fight. I mean, shit, he's tougher than fucking Jack Hermanson, I thought was going to be. And Jack Hermanson dealt with him quickly. Calvin Gastelum's he's fallen off a cliff recently. And I think it's because everybody figured out he's kind of a one-trick pony. And I think Izzy kind of exposed this later on in that fight. Till more than anything actually exposed him, which I mean, Darren Till's up.
I was just going to say Till. Till made him look bad.
Yeah, everybody realized, okay, he is a leap in straight. Like he's a leap in jab straight. Like that's his offense. That is all that his offense is. And once everybody figured that out, it's been pretty easy cooking for everybody else, you know.
It's been a very steep fall for this guy who we saw for at least a couple rounds looked like he was going to beat Israel Adesanya. And then after Izzy figured that out later in that fight, we really haven't seen Gastelum look good since then. So he's fighting another up-and-comer who can make his name off of Kelvin Gastelum. And if Kelvin Gastelum loses this fight, I don't really want to hear from him for at least a year and a half. But 1-4 is nasty work. I don't care where you work, what league you're in. If you are 1-4 in a league, you are not getting it done. You're doing something.
This is big time Bellator hours.
His ass needs to go to 170. He
probably
needed to go to 170 2 years ago. Like 170 is the weight class.
But I don't know if that cut will work for him at his age now.
This ain't a body size cut. This is a I don't want to eat right cut. That's what this cut is.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. When you don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you telling me he gonna be 1-5 in his last 6 fights after losing this fight, listen, I'm not cutting anything. I'm going to somewhere different. I'm going to fight easier fights. I'm going to Bellator. I'm gonna be the king of Bellator, or at least like the number 3 guy in Bellator, which is okay. Yeah. But you got
better than being what number like 14, 15 now, whatever he is, or no, he's still in the top 10.
Yeah.
Imamov is technical, bro. I don't like the matchup for Gastelum. I'm excited to see it, but that Imamov kid impressed me in his last fight, but we'll see. What else? You got Chael came out the other day and said he is really impressed that Jorge Masvidal took the fight against Colby Covington because this fight could be a career ender for Jorge. Can
you run that back one more time? I want to hear that because I've read the article, I listened to it. I want to hear you say that again. This is a career ender for him.
Chael says this is potentially a career ender for Jorge Masvidal.
Putting Jorge in the dirt.
I think I'm tired of the disrespect.
I think I have to back
What disrespect? This man is a career journeyman. He hasn't beaten a soul.
Let me give you some facts. 1, Jorge Masvidal hasn't lost to anybody other than Kamaru Usman since 2017.
Who has he fought since then, though?
He's beating everybody except for Kamaru Usman. I understand that. I also think that Jorge might lose the fight. I don't think Jorge is that far down the division as people tend to talk about him because of the stuff before he started cooking. I don't really count the stuff before he started cooking. He's a different fighter. He got to lose to somebody bad before I can go ahead and call that man trash. He got to lose.
Who could he beat that's ahead of him in that division? There's not a single person that's ahead of him right now.
Colby Burns. He's high up there. Oh, first of all, you're going to tell me that he can't beat Burns. I think he putting Burns in the dirt. I think he putting Wonderboy Thompson in the dirt. I think he putting Bilal in the dirt.
You see what I got to put up with?
I hate Gilbert Burns. I hate Gilbert Burns, bro.
Burns would destroy Masvidal.
Gilbert Burns will have Jorge Masvidal in hell on the ground.
I hate Gilbert.
Jorge not gonna let him take him to the ground. Jorge gonna box that nigga chin off because
if he fought Burns, he would be seeing Kimbo.
Oh my God.
R.I.P. I love you, Kimbo, but no.
We reunited with Kimbo.
No, he's not beating anybody.
This is not a potential career-ending fight for.
He wouldn't even beat Wonderboy.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
No, look. I'll put it this way: the reason why it's a career ender for him is you can't keep up the facade after you get slept by a wrestler and then follow it up by losing another fight in dominant fashion, which he will if he loses this fight in dominant fashion to a guy like Colby Covington.
That's true.
I think, but then again, he is capable. He's sneaky. He's capable of landing a shot that puts Colby in hell. He is I'm sorry. He has good hands. He's capable of doing it.
And when's the last time you saw Colby knock somebody out? When is the last time you saw that?
That's not going to happen, but he will.
I mean, he fought Usman twice. I mean, still.
No, I mean, but before then, Colby is a great striker. I'm not taking that away from him, but Colby not going to knock you. He's not going to knock him out like Usman.
He's going to knock Masvidal out. I'm willing to make that bet right now. I guarantee
he's going to take him to the ground and hold him there, and he's going to be much better on the ground. He ain't going to knock him out.
I will Venmo you $100 if he doesn't knock out Masvidal.
You know this is recorded, right? Because I'm keeping that. Because he's knocking Masvidal out.
Colby's not knocking him out.
He's not knocking him out.
Y'all heard it here first. When Bovada puts up the odds, bros, double up.
Wow.
He ain't knocking him out. He needs to wrestle him. He didn't wrestle Usman because Usman is just as good as a wrestler, if not better. But he should damn sure be wrestling Masvidal every second he can. He should just wrestle him.
There's too much bad blood. He's gonna knock him out.
That's fair.
But he'd be stupid to fight that way. He would be dumb to fight that way.
He is going to knock out Masvidal. Then Trump is going to come out and announce he's running in 2024. It's going to be a big MAGA celebration, bros.
I can't wait for that fucking.
I mean, Masvidal's a big MAGA guy too, so.
Yeah, but we don't claim him.
sort of a win-loss for the MAGA.
And then what happens is Masvidal gets cooked, and then Dana's like, all right, well, you've ran your goodwill with me. I'm throwing you the Kamzat now.
That's gonna be nasty for her.
He won't accept that. He'll retire or something. Hey, Kamzat is coming for all of these dudes.
Nah, we still gotta wait. Still gotta wait on that. We still gotta wait.
None of them want.
They better sign him to a fight. Dana, if you don't get this dude a fucking fight, let him beat up Jeff Neal. I don't care.
Vincente
let him beat
Luque
up
said
any of these dudes.
Vincente Luque said he fight him. I want to see it. Will you sign on the dotted line whenever they get?
But Dana's not going to do that because Dana wants him to grow up and be a star too. So you can't throw him to Luque right now.
I want y'all to have a real conversation when he destroyed Gilbert Burns. I want to have a real conversation.
That is not happening, bro.
Fucking hate Gilbert Burns.
Gilbert Burns is good, man.
I know he hates Gilbert Burns with a passion. I don't know why.
Because when Leon was angling for the fight to get Usman, which he deserved already, Burns, who was avoiding Leon, who Leon wanted to fight a year prior, and Burns basically blew him off, tried to jump in and say, no, you should fight me. Don't do that, bro. This is a business. If you didn't want to fight that dude a year ago, now he's trying to get a title fight and you tweeted him. I hated that. Anyway.
Leon doesn't fight either, though.
Miesha Tate got into trouble on the internet this week because
was that her Twitter likes?
No, it wasn't.
I was about to go find her real quick.
You can find other stuff on Miesha.
People were fighters use OnlyFans, but not just people posting news. Like fighters use OnlyFans for other things.
Oh, I don't want that. Why I want to watch that?
People have been asking Miesha Tate. Apparently, the fans have been asking Miesha Tate for years. Retire, you're old, get an OnlyFans. And she finally responded to a comment and she said, I'm not desperate enough to get an OnlyFans, which made sex workers upset. So she got in some trouble on the internet. But apparently, people really want a Miesha Tate OnlyFans. She said she'll never do it. But I didn't know that people wanted a Miesha Tate OnlyFans. That's not really my type. But
fellas, I'm gonna put y'all on game to all the people out there watching that.
Oh God, this is about to be awful.
Just Google her shit, bro. It's already out there. It's already on the internet.
Miesha Tate says she wants to be taken seriously as a fighter, and she is going to go beat the hell out of Lauren Murphy when that happens. And so, then maybe it ain't time for OnlyFans. Wait, you gonna pick Lauren Murphy?
I think Lauren Murphy's a bum. I think anybody in that weight class is a bum. But I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if Miesha's. I think Miesha Tate's a bum though too. To be fair. Not gonna lie.
I've seen Miesha climb the mountain. I've never seen Lauren Murphy do anything but be swaggerless. I'm taking Miesha Tate in that fight.
Hey,
I agree.
Amanda Nunes is leaving America Top Team. That happened. At first, I thought this was the sign that Kayla Harrison was going to sign with the UFC because obviously Kayla Harrison is also with America's Top Team. But Kayla Harrison is announced, or I don't think she announced it, but it's rumored that she's staying with PFL to keep cashing $1 million checks. And that's just a smart decision, especially because there's no more heat on the Amanda Nunes fight, at least right now, until Nunes gets the title back and gets some wins. There's no more heat on that fight. So why am I going to go to UFC for pennies on the dollar when I can cash $1 million check every year fighting bums? It's just
you get 200,000 and like a few coupons to Burger King from Dana White.
I'll be honest about Amanda Nunes. I feel like her want to and passion has dropped off a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Me too.
100%. Especially after having a kid. I think Megan Anderson was just that easy of a fight that she just went out there and smacked her around, But against these girls that are like up and coming and hungry and like desperately want these opportunities, her reactions like after losing the belt, like weren't really. I wouldn't say like that's not a like fair thing to react. Like she was very sportsmanlike and very like very relaxed and chill. I didn't like that shit at all.
No, but after Pena made the comments about the mom situation, Amanda wanted to get it back in blood.
So she turned up on Instagram though. You gotta keep the same energy in person, bro. But apparently Amanda seems angry again. She talking.
Whatever it takes to get your individual chip on your shoulder.
It don't matter what it is. Whatever motivates you is what motivates you.
I'm still pissed off at Amanda Nunes that she allowed Juliana Pena to touch a title.
That's crazy. You know who predicted that?
You?
No, he didn't pick it, but he did say on the pod, y'all should go bet this because I think Pena has a solid chance of winning. And that right there gives you credit because that's more than I was said. I was slandering Pena. She was talking too crazy. I thought she was going crazy. I'm like, what are you talking so crazy for? And she whooped her ass. I couldn't say nothing else.
Sure.
What else we got? They confirmed that the UFC is going to have a fight night in London on March 19th, and that's going to be full of European fighters. I can't wait for it. There are so many dope European fighters right now. I can't wait.
I want to see Americans in American cities.
I'm down for some time.
You sound like Kobe Covington right
now.
I tweeted that, but I get so mad about fight nights not being in random cities anymore. Like, that was one of the cool things of you being able to go catch like a random card somewhere close by.
Fairfax, Virginia.
I hope that we're doing that.
Hey,
I want some real small ones in small towns. I want to go to Bakersfield, California to see some fights. I want to go to Reno, Nevada to see some fights. I hope they do start sending that back around. That was fun.
Like,
it was fun to
for
do
me,
that.
it's like, okay, yeah, you get a random one in Houston, or you're going to have to go to Vegas, or you're going to go to New York. Like, bro, I don't have time to just randomly hop out there. But if it's something like an hour or two away, like, oh, Birmingham, I could, yeah.
Has there ever been a Birmingham fight night?
You have. There was a Greenville, South Carolina fight night. I was in there. Boy, it was bugs in there. They had random niggas off the street fighting in that car. I was in there cheering too.
Yeah. Like,
I think I told somebody, I was like, yeah, Buddy got next. Buddy ain't even fight again.
Buddy never fought again.
Oh, my God.
There's new vaccination rules. I guess this is just for 270. Vaccinated fighters and vaccinated corner people won't be tested, but unvaccinated corner people and fighters will be tested. Yeah. So they're obviously trying to cut down on the amount of fight cancellations by just saying, if you don't bring it to us and you are asymptomatic, then guess what? You're gonna get your ass in that ring, get knocked out with COVID.
Just big MAGA hours.
Yeah. I figured that. I figured that one. It was crazy. It was like, hey, you can't get COVID if you. I'm
surprised it lasted this long.
Yeah.
Once the NFL announced this 2 months ago or whatever, I said, oh, they all about to start doing that. NFL said, if you're not coughing up a lung, don't come get no test. We don't need no test. You can get your ass on that field.
Which is so awful.
Goodness gracious. The NBA got hit with the bad, but they wish they had that.
They had that rule. It's disgusting.
Oh, shit.
I'll just throw this in here that we can scoot right by it with no further comments. Last week on picks, I went 1-4. Stephon went 2-3. We getting it back in blood this week because we don't appreciate those performances, but we did get cheated on one of the decisions.
We did get cheated.
We coming back. There was a pre-card fight I want to talk about that's not on the main card of 270. Ilya Topuria was supposed to fight Evloev, and they're both undefeated. Evloev dropped off the card. Now Topuria is fighting Charles Jourdain, aka Air Jourdain, which and Topuria is really good and still undefeated. He's not on the main card, but definitely watch this kid fight because he's about to dominate. He's about to dominate. And he's only had one decision in his entire career, and it wasn't the UFC level. He's finished every fight in his whole MMA career, and he's won every fight except for one by finish, usually by subbing people and choking people out. But he can also punch. He also knock people out. He about to do Charles Jourdain nasty, but make sure y'all watch that card. It'll be on the prelims, not the main card.
Yeah, excited for that one. He put Ryan Hall to sleep. That was.
I cannot fucking wait. He said today, he's in an interview I saw of him today. He said, "I still think Ryan Hall is a boring fighter," which I don't agree with. I like Ryan Hall, even though he's weird. I like
Ryan
weird.
Hall's fun.
Yeah,
I wanted
he's fun
Ryan
to
Hall
me.
to get to a title like that. I wanted Ryan Hall to just like
roll his way to
just throw like flying kicks and spinning kicks, and then just like anytime they got close, roll under and try to get a submission.
I love watching the guy fight. If he literally was like he's fighting the number 3 guy in the world now, and he's just going to be on the ground for the 22
just
minutes.
Imagine him out there against Volkanovski, just throwing that shit from out there and rolling under. Elite. That would be amazing.
And not only did he beat Ryan Hall, he TKO'd him. He did it on the ground. Ryan Hall was rolling around like he always do. He caught him with a punch while he was standing, and he got right down the floor and started ground to pound him, which is probably the most dangerous thing. One of the most dangerous things you can do in MMA is get on the ground with Ryan Hall, no matter what the situation is. Yeah. You don't get on the ground with that dude. He got on the ground with that dude and beat the shit out of him, and I was very impressed. So I'm excited to see him fight, but he's not on the main card. He should be. He's on the prelims now.
Wellington Turman. What are you talking about? That's a huge fight.
Oh my god! Also, the pay-per-view price is going up this year. Now they're charging you $74.99 for the pay-per-views, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm not paying for this pay-per-view.
We'll be streaming it over there on the legal app.
I will also be streaming. I'm not going to admit to no crimes on this podcast, but I'm going to find an alternative method to watch this.
I am watching this card on ESPN Plus like everybody else. You know,
that's right. That's right. I got ESPN up in the background. I've already paid.
I am watching the card on ESPN Plus.
That's right. I don't want Dana to. Dana has a transcript of this whole Zoom.
I'm gonna have ESPN up on one screen plus the stream of the fight. You know,
I really thought about going to watch this fight at a bar. We finally got a new Twin Peaks here, and it just got finished, but it's super small Twin Peaks. But
I want to go watch it at a bar, but I just caught COVID over the New Year, and I'm not trying to give that to my girlfriend.
They got two.
There you go, responsible podcasts.
You know,
we like that. We got two great fights at the top of the card, but we're gonna make picks going all the way up the main card. So we're gonna start at the bottom. And the first fight of the main card is Rodolfo Vieira is a minus 225 favorite, and this is a middleweight fight. And he's fighting Wellington Turman, probably the most European. It sounds like a European meat dish.
It's like a beef Wellington.
Yes, exactly. He's plus 185 underdog. Both these dudes are Brazilian, and I'm picking Vieira by sub in this fight.
Yeah. Vieira, multiple time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. He is swole as shit and
extremely
has no cardio afterwards. He ended up getting subbed by Anthony Hernandez, but his last fight, he looked like he learned his lesson, figured it out a little bit.
He looked
also,
good.
More than anything, Wellington Turman had a split decision with Sam Alvey, who was a fucking bum. Sam Alvey needs to be cut. Oh my God. If Sam Alvey wasn't so if Sam Alvey wasn't so damn anti-union, he'd be cut already. But he fondles Dana White's balls so much that he's still in the UFC. I'm not going for anybody that had a close fight with Sam Alvey. Rodolfo Vieira is going to get this done.
I completely agree. So we can go ahead with the clean sweep there, but I have to watch out. NT start agreeing too much. I got to start swaying.
Yeah, obviously that means something's going wrong. The next fight we got is at bantamweight. Cody Stamann is a plus 170 underdog against Said Nurmagomedov, who's at minus 200 and is not a relative of Khabib. And you know how I know that? Because this guy is a striker. He has one takedown in his UFC career on 14 tries. Khabib would throw up.
Khabib that man is clearly not related. No, he's an off-brand Khabib.
1 for 14 on takedowns. Khabib will literally kick dude out the gym. What are you doing out there, bro? No, Said Nurmagomedov is more of a striker. And I picked Nurmagomedov in this fight because Cody Stamann is a bum. So I took Nurmagomedov in this fight.
I think Cody Stamann's decent. Dude's got pound for pound the thickest neck in all of the UFC. I cannot go for him though. He's lost his last two to some pretty elite competition though. Merab and Jimmy Rivera are good.
Merab is a monster.
I think Saeed's on the way up. He took some time off after losing this fight and he came back and looked really good. I'm going with Saeed. Said Nurmagomedov.
I should also note that Cody Stamann is ranked number 15 and Saeed is unranked. So Saeed is trying to break into the rankings. Stefan?
I am going with Cody here. Like you talked about, Cody has fought some elite talent in his last two losses.
Very true.
Before that, he destroyed Brian, and then he had it was a draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Song Yadong. Yep.
And then he beat Perez, and then he lost to Aljo. But we know how we feel about that guy. So
no comment.
I'm going with Cody.
I got another opinions on this podcast.
Cody is also my betting, safe pick. Plus 170. I think that's really great odds for him.
Wait. Kieran, are you telling me that you're Aljo Hive? Because if so, we got to have you back for the Slander Fest. I can't wait for the Slander Fest.
Wait. What are we asking?
Are you pro Aljo or anti Aljo?
I'm pro get that money, so I love what he did. I'm pro Aljo.
Okay, we bringing him back for this podcast because this is gonna be.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. He is a fake champ.
No, that's a fake champion. We don't respect.
Peter Yan is our true champ.
Hold up. You could either have a championship pay and pay-per-view points, or you could have Anthony Smith's career trajectory. and Aljo chose right. That man is
Anthony Smith is good on the desk. He's good.
I don't care. Aljamain Sterling got a P3 sponsorship talking about nuts and cheese because he's the champion of that weight class. Now,
he is not the champion.
Do I think he's your champion? You're gonna have to eat.
No,
absolutely
he's your
not.
champion.
He is not our champion.
He is your when they announce him, the undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world.
So look, do you remember, because we talked about this last pod, but you remember when Aljo was crying and he was shaking his head like he didn't want the belt? That man is so damn unserious, bro. Get this man out of my life.
Karen, did you see the poster?
No, I think Peter Yan is way better than him. He should still be the champion. But then again, you can't go near people in the head. Like, disqualifications exist.
But now looking back, like, he deserved it. Like, John saw the future.
John knew that this dude has bad vibes. He just knew it before we did. Because I was supporting Aljo in that fight. And then I said, this black man is embarrassing me. He's getting his ass whooped.
That man cried and dropped that belt.
If Aljo, I'm telling you right now, though, if Aljo wins this rematch,
we're not
gonna be able to tell that man nothing.
Bro, I'd rather Masvidal win and go on the street where he beats Usman than to watch Aljo win.
Y'all seen that meme of Hulk Hogan drawing like the N-word on the fucking side of that is gonna be MMA fans after Aljo beats Peter Yan.
I'm gonna join in with him.
It's gonna be bro.
I'm gonna join in with him.
r/MMA is going to be a fucking landmine field. Like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a minefield in there.
Hey, we've seen crazier things happen, but
I'm rooting for it. Michael Bisping was a champion in this bitch. This is wild. But it is what it is.
Just a nasty taste in my mouth. I'm sick right now.
I am a little excited about the next fight. Only because it's Mikael
Fajeda, who is literally always entertaining. Whether he wins or loses, I have never been bored by this guy being in the ring. He is an elite striker. He moves unlike anybody I've ever seen move in a ring in an octagon before. There's no odds on this fight actually, because he's fighting Andre Fialho, who is making his UFC debut, because the original opponent here, I forgot who it was, dropped off because of COVID. So Fajeda is still here, and Fialho is a knockout artist. Apparently, he is that dude in other organizations and knocks everybody out.
That is an absolute knockout fest. That's going to be an insane fight.
It's going to be a CTE, every CTE buffet, all you can eat punches for everybody. And I'm excited about it. There are no odds on it, so I can't give you any betting odds. But who are y'all taking? I'm not going to tell y'all my pick yet.
I am going to go with Michel Pereira. He's looked a little more reserved and technical his past three. Since he's been on this winning streak, it's like he's actually taking his career seriously or some shit. But I don't like it. I like when he was going crazy, but
I want him to go crazy.
Yeah, I want him to go crazy. I want backflips in that shit, and I want him to gas out in the first like 3 minutes. That's more fun. But I'm going with Michel Pereira. I think he's a little more technical and more patient, and I think he's actually a really solid fighter when he does that. So
he is absolutely a really good fighter. I'm going the exact same way. Like I guess I remember what he had. The illegal knee was like his most recent loss. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with him.
Was that Diego Sanchez?
Diego Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez. Oh my God! When Dana wants people to get this is a horrible trend to Dana White. When he wants people to get up out of the UFC, he gives them murderers. Like when he wanted Johnny Hendricks to get up out of there, bro, he's like, "Hey, let's go up to 185 and we'll give you Paulo Costa." It's like, what the fuck? You visibly see Johnny Hendricks in that bitch, like, "Hey, yo, hold up."
That man looked Nate Diaz in his face.
You sure? Like this, right?
That man looked Nate Diaz in his face and said, "Thank you for everything you've done for the organization. We want you to fight Kazmat next." And Nate Diaz is like, "Wait, that nigga who I just saw pick up somebody in the first 10 seconds?"
Look, he has a strike differential of like 172-3. Him?
Yeah, that one.
That's who you want me to fight? Elite grappler? Like, you want me to fight? Like, Dana is a war criminal. He gotta stop doing that shit, bro.
Dana's wild, bro. He wants him to go out in blood.
I'm also picking Michel Fajeda. I love watching him fight, and I think this is one of those moments where no matter how good or bad Fialho is, just because he's making his debut, if you want to make inroads in this division, which is what are we at? Welterweight? Yes. If you want to make inroads at this division, welterweight's got some killers in it. You need to go out there and make a name for yourself on a dude who's trying to debut. And I do agree with Kieran that I think he's figured out the pacing a little bit more, because he literally be in the ring doing backflips and side flips in the middle of the fight, and it's like, wait, bro, is that helping your cardio issues, or is that
like you are bringing up your Gatorade cup if you are on a video game by doing flips? Like, bro, please stop doing that. But no, y'all have got to go watch this guy's fights, because he's in like what is it, UNA Warriors or some shit like this?
Something like that.
I'm going to send y'all some of the fights. Please go check him out, because this man is dishing out CTE. I don't think it's going to work in the UFC, but we're going to be entertained one way or another.
I heard that he'd be knocking people out. So when I heard that, this fight's exciting. This is the third fight from the bottom on the main card. This one should be fun, y'all. So make sure y'all are checking this out. Now we get into the real shit. And I've been literally begging. I've been waiting to talk about this fight for at least 2 weeks. I'm so excited about this. We got the trilogy going on. The first trilogy in UFC history that happened back to back to back. At flyweight, Brandon Moreno is a minus 180 favorite, defending his title once again against Davidson Figueiredo, the ex-champion, who's a plus 155 underdog. And I want to get y'all's thoughts on this fight first, because I have a lot of thoughts, and hopefully y'all say some of my thoughts so I can be less long-winded. Go ahead. Go ahead, Stephon.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
So with this fight, I went back and forth because, I'm a big Figgy fan, and I feel like he had a bad cut the second time, which he's always kind of struggled with these cuts. But I don't know, y'all. I feel like this is very much going to be one of those fights where Brandon is a champ, so now you have to go out and prove more. When you're a champ, I feel like you have to prove even more so that you beat him. Like with Volk, yeah, he was in hell, but because he was a champ, he got the benefit of the doubt. We saw John get the benefit of the doubt a million times, and I feel like we're gonna get that with Brandon Moreno, and I think that's why I'm going to pick him because again, they are very, very insanely close match fighters. I don't think you get a more close set of. Like outside of maybe Kobe and Usman, I don't think you have a closer 1 and 2 and maybe a ton of divisions. So I just don't see the separation there, and that's why I'm going to go with Brandon. I hate it. I'm sick because Figgy looks good. No homo or nothing, but it's just like, bro, he looks like amazing for this cut.
I'm like, shredded right now.
Like
he looks so
my man
right
is
now.
Absolutely in shape, and I'm like
bodied up out there right now.
But I just don't.
It feels like he's on weight. Like we're 2 weeks before this fight. He looks shredded. That don't always tell the whole story, but for somebody he was the last fighter to hit the scale last time they fought, and the weight cut was awful, and you could see it in the performance. He looks incredible right now. So I think I definitely agree with you on that. Like it's going to be less about the scale beating him and more about now Moreno's got to go beat him, and we're gonna have a different fight for sure. Go ahead, Kieran.
Yeah. So one big thing about this fight was last time out, I believe Davidson had a lot of trouble with the weight cut. And it showed in the fight too. I mean, he was struggling cardio wise, like after that first round, it seemed like he really just like tired out. And now he's with somebody that understands the struggle of weight cuts at 125 and Henry Cejudo. Someone that is an elite wrestler, which has been one of his big problems in these last 3 fights, is he's getting taken down to the ground. And Brandon Moreno was enforcing his will and changing the pace of the fight, like completely taking the fight to another place and switching things up. I think him training with Henry Cejudo, him taking his diet more seriously, him being capable of dictating where the fight goes now because of that training with Henry Cejudo is going to help him out a lot. Will he finish it though? Because it seems like Brandon Moreno is still improving, like time in and time out. He's still improving and improving and improving. I think this is going to be a razor thin fight either way. Just because Brandon Moreno's a damn tank. I think Moreno keeps it though. I think we see an improved Figgy, but I think Brandon Moreno gets the job done again.
So the first fight in this, I've watched these fights this week. The first fight, it is clear that Figueiredo is the one going forward the entire fight. Moreno's fighting off his back foot the entire time and countering and having success, while Figgy is landing bombs because you could tell, one, Figgy's like, I'm not trying to be in here for 5 rounds. But also, too, Figgy wasn't throwing a lot of combinations. He was just landing big shots. And you could tell that fight's a draw really because of, one, there's a point deduction because he gets one of the worst nut shots I've ever seen Figgy lands on. That shit is, oh my, I can't believe Moreno kept fighting through that. Yeah. Moreno is just like a tank. I don't think he can be, he's never been finished. I don't think he will be finished. But I agree with y'all that this fight's going to be razor thin. That second fight, Davidson Figueiredo didn't set the tone because he's worried about cardio. And so it really allowed Moreno to just set the pace. And with Moreno leading the dance, the fight wasn't close because that's the advantage of Figueiredo. He's always going forward. Even in the fights that are not against Moreno, he is always going to be the guy to walk you down. And that stuff, like we were talking about earlier with Giga, having someone walk you down is extremely exhausting. But Moreno, because his cardio is so good and his chin so good, just kept absorbing the damage and kept counterpunching. And Figueiredo realized, oh shit, like I'm not going to beat this guy this way. And then the second fight, you could see that he was trying to be more measured in his pacing and trying to find a way to beat this guy, but he obviously didn't find that formula because the fight wasn't close at all. I think this fight, because he's in better shape, because his cardio should be better, and because now he knows that I still have to be the guy walking forward. I think that what Cejudo's working with him on is the range. You still have to get the forward pressure, but the forward pressure doesn't always have to mean you get right in. It could mean that you're the ones forwarding the pressure, but you still maintain a range that works for you. Yeah. And I think he had a trouble with the fact that Moreno has a slight reach advantage. He's slightly taller. I think that gave him trouble. I think this time he will walk him down, but he'll do better finding his range, and I think we'll have a much better fight than that second fight. I think we're going to get another classic. But I agree with y'all. I think Moreno's going to win just because I don't know how you beat. You're going to have to either point Moreno or something crazy is going to have to happen because I don't think Moreno can be finished. This guy, the amount of damage that he can take and the cardio that he has is insanity. And I think at some point, even though Figgy looks great, the cardio will become an issue in the later rounds, and Moreno will win it either by decision because he wins the last couple of rounds or because he finishes them late. But I cannot wait for this fight.
And I just kind of worry about the mental of it too, because like, how many times do you win a rematch? Like that's something that really doesn't happen that often, and that's going to be in the back of your mind. It's like, okay, yeah, the first one technically wasn't even a win. So now you've got the second one where you absolutely he looked like he was sleepwalking that fight. I was really surprised that second fight of the outcome. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Wasn't expecting to get buzzsawed like that. It was tough.
No, it was nasty. Yeah. It was nasty.
So I think that's something that's going to be on his mind, and I don't know. I thought about this. I talked with a friend. I was like, I think it's close. Like on paper, on paper is as close as can be. But I don't know if this fight is actually close when we watch it.
I think it's going to be close. I love the point that Kieran made that Moreno is getting better. In the first fight, Moreno, the way he was moving, it was like he was more sliding his feet and not picking them up. He was doing this weird slide thing. Moreno also fights like nobody I've ever seen. Like the way that Moreno fights, his stance is super funky, and you could tell that it takes a while to get adjusted to when you're fighting him. His guard is super high, and he's kind of always in guard. But in the second fight, his movement was so much more fluid to me. He literally, but he didn't fight anybody between these two fights. So between fight 1 and 2, he literally went to the lab and changed the way he was moving, which caused more problems for Figueiredo. And seeing stuff like that is always insane to me because Moreno's been fighting for a good amount of time, and he realized this movement doesn't serve me. I'm going to move this way, and the movement, if you watch the fights, are so different. Yeah. It's crazy that he improved in that 6 months, but it was clear that he did. And so I'm just projecting out that he'll make further improvements, even though he dominated the last fight. He'll make more improvements. So even though we'll see a better Figgy, we'll also see a better Moreno, I think.
Yeah, I think he made more improvements between the first and second fight. I think Figgy has a real shot of winning this, especially if he changes up the way that he goes on the attack, because he's very like reflex based. I mean, he walks in hands down. He has that one hand like on the top, and it's very much like, okay, I'm watching, I'm seeing, and then I'm trying to like deliver power. You know, I think if he goes in there and tries to relax, play off of what Brandon Moreno is showing him, don't try to push the pace. I honestly think that's the way that he goes to victory here. And I know last fight, he didn't try to push the pace as much, but I think if he does the same thing, he relaxes, he doesn't let Brandon Moreno dictate the pace while also not being as aggressive. Use your feet.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying, that makes perfect sense. Like there's a not pushing the pace, but there's also like we said, he was kind of sleepwalking. There's a difference between not pushing the pace and being countered and being measured in your takes and sleepwalking. And I think that brings up a good point. I don't know, man. Brandon looked amazing that second fight. So
there's a way to put on that pressure without tiring yourself out. Exactly. Because a lot of people, a lot of fighters like think pressure and they're just like, okay, I'm gonna walk down and I'm gonna be throwing shots. No, like use your footwork and make them think. Like use your head movement, use your footwork, block stuff. And that's what I think, like, that's a big thing with Figgy. Everything that was going on before, his defense was his offense. Yep. It's all a slip into a counter. It's the same problem. It's the same reason why Conor McGregor tires out in fights. Everything that he does defensively, he wants to turn back into offense. And that's fine. It's good in spurts. It's extremely tiring, you know? So I think there's a path there for Figgy, and that's something that I definitely think that Henry Cejudo is trying to teach him as well, because Henry Cejudo manages a fight and balances his give and take better than anybody else out there. So yeah, we'll see. But I still think Moreno's going to get it done just because God, how old is he? 27 now?
He is so young.
Super so young. And he's still improving every time he goes out there. It's crazy. Yep. Like he's 28 years old now. Like it's incredible what he's doing every single time he goes out.
He's also got to do something about the takedowns. One of y'all mentioned it because in the other two, especially in that second fight, Moreno could take him down literally whenever he wanted to. So whenever he would run into problems, when Figueiredo will put the pressure on him, whenever he would run into problems, you land a couple shots, I'm just going to grab you and take you down. And Davidson had very little to do in terms of like takedown defense. He's got to get that together because if even if he is able to neutralize Moreno on the feet, if you're just going to let him take you down, then the fight just going to be on the ground. And if you're just going to be the one always on the bottom, you're going to lose the fight. So, and obviously having somebody like
you're going to see a much
great for that.
Yeah, you're going to see a much improved wrestling game from Figgy. You have to. You saw it from Wei Li Zhang too. She wasn't showing that sort of capability on me, and that was always her weakness. Nobody just exposed it beforehand. Like you saw the same thing with Yan Xiaonan that like she was training with before. Like she got exposed on the ground by Carla Esparza, but I think she's shoring up that side of her game, and so is Figgy. He's trying to make sure that that's not an issue here. So
this is it for him. Figgy has to basically win this.
Yeah.
I don't see him getting a title shot again anytime soon. You're not going to run this back 4 times.
If he don't, I think he might move up.
If he wins, though, if there's ever a case for a 4 fight,
I would completely agree. If he wins,
like
so it's for every other guy in the division, but
poor Askar Askarov sitting over there.
I was just about to say,
Askar
Askarov been beating everybody. Like, please,
and
let
guess
me
what?
get one shot.
I won't give a damn if he misses out on
it.
If we get
brother,
this
gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait. We got you.
Because if Figgy wins this shit, I want it again.
I want to see part 4.
Back again.
That is, I told you the only other fight that I would want to see again is John and DC. There's only like a few fights that I would be willing to see again.
4 times, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, what? You don't want to see John and DC again?
John beats him
not anymore because, but
at heavyweight,
if DC was still fighting. I'm sorry. DC was still fighting, maybe.
Let me give y'all some insight to what happened in the John Jones DC fight. John Jones, as we all know, is a damn sociopath, right? He wants to beat everybody at what they're best at. So in the first fight, he fought him entirely in the clinch. In the clinch. The second
Which
fight,
was insane decision making,
ridiculous decision making. But he was
when you on coke, you can do anything.
When he fought Thiago Santos, he wanted a kickboxing fight. When he fought Glover Teixeira, he wanted to fight in the pocket the whole time. That's why he was landing them elbows inside. He wanted that because he knew Glover couldn't handle him if he wanted to keep his range and do his thing, right? Or just wrestle him.
You got to be built very different to act like that,
dude.
You got to be built
very crazy. It's like Jordan. It's all the greats are absolute crazy,
fucking maniacs. The first fight against DC. He goes out there. He beats him at what he's best at. They're in the clinch the entire time. Second fight, they go out there. And this is why I give DC a lot of credit for. He came prepared for that style because that's what he expected John to fight him like. And after that second round, after DC had more success on the inside when he was uppercutting him and getting all that, the same combo that he knocked out Stipe Miocic at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go watch that third round and watch John Jones take away everything that he had. Every bit of momentum that because it wasn't just he caught one kick and that was it. Go back and watch that third round. John Jones was not playing the clinch game with them anymore. Stayed on the outside, move, miss, move, stick, move. Set up the head kick all in that round. Lands a head kick, put him away. I love DC. Think he's phenomenal. He never win that fight. He will never win that fight. If they ran it 100 times, he doesn't win that fight.
I'm going to go ahead and see it.
John Jones is different, bro. That's a different guy.
The problem is if he had the power to put him away instantly, which I think a lot of people at heavyweight think that he would, I don't see it happening. We're also talking about a Stipe Miocic that he knocked out coming off of a freaking war against Francis Ngannou where he got buzzed a couple times. And
I want John and DC to fight back to back in heavyweight. That's all I want to see.
It's going to look more of the same in my opinion.
I don't think that DC is going to land the shot that he's going to have to land. And it might be the case that none of these heavyweights can land the shot that they'd have to land on John Jones to use their advantage. It might be the case that they never hit him.
But we're getting completely off track, but I hate it. But the thing is, like, DC, like, what else do you have in heavyweight? We talked about how terrible that division is. Would you not take DC back?
You got two real niggas that's fighting for the title.
There's two guys that can beat John Jones. And those are the people that are fighting in this main event. Let's get to it, Tish.
I love that. That was incredible. That was an incredible transition.
I'm a pro at this. There's only 2 dudes in the UFC that are capable of beating John Jones.
Well, our main event, and obviously, is that heavyweight. Right now, the line's at minus 155 for Cyril Gane, and Ngannou is a plus 135 underdog. And the line has been moving slowly more and more in favor of Gane. Is anybody surprised about that?
I'm not.
I've had a lot of people text they're spending money on him.
I think a lot of people. Same. I think a lot of people in MMA, as from what I've seen, have been picking Ngannou.
That's facts.
I'm on Gane. I've been on Gane since the beginning of this. I have. So I got to ride through it if I've been saying it like the entire time. And I will say this. There's one dude in the UFC, one dude that I will sit here and say he beats John Jones every time, and it's Cyril Gane. He does. He's bigger. Goodness. He's just as athletic. John Jones is not getting his ass to the ground. He's more technical on the feet. He's fast as hell, and he's cerebral, which is the biggest thing for me. How smart Cyril Gane is, his movement, his footwork, which is why I'm picking him to win this fight over Francis Ngannou too.
See, I would go opposite, and I feel like Francis is the only guy that can beat John.
I think when you go pure strength, pure brute, you have to have skill. I think Francis is very capable of it.
And that's the thing. I feel like Francis has improved so much, and he has that label of being like, yes, that one-shot powerhouse, but he's evolved so much from a fighter.
He's very when he's patient, he's technical. He's good.
Like that Stipe fight, you saw so much of how much better, how much measured he was, because like in that very first round, he had a chance where he kind of rocked Stipe, and old Francis would have absolutely went out, floored damn pedal, gassed himself out, and Stipe would have had him in hell again. And you saw him kind of be more measured in it. So I think he's a completely different fighter. But
I have a take on that.
Let's hear.
So the first Stipe fight, Francis only lost because he wasn't patient. You can say what you want about his improvements wrestling-wise. True. You can say what you want about his technical, and yes, he has improved technically. The only reason why he lost that fight the first time was because he wasn't patient. If he would have just waited on the shot to open up, he would have done it. Just like he did against Overeem, just like he did against Arlovsky, just like he did against all of these dudes. When he waits for the shot to open up, he gets him every single time.
And it's going to be there.
And this is the problem. Yeah, this is the thing, though. With Stipe, it's there, right? Stipe also is very limited in his game. Let's be honest. He is a wrestle boxer. He is a bigger version of what DC's skill set is, but built for a lanky frame, right? He's not kicking shit. Which is also why I think Cyril Gane and John Jones will take Stipe ass to school. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
The heavyweight division is not seeing anybody as well rounded as that, and that's why I'm picking Cyril Gane. Yes, I think Francis Ngannou for the first 2 rounds, I'm gonna be butt puckered up. I'm talking about
the scary hours.
He's fast as hell. He's technical. If he catches him, it's done. Like he hits way too hard, right? But the thing is, the longer this fight goes, the more it's going to be in favor of Cyril Gane.
Agreed.
Okay, I think that is the absolute perfect take with that, because if this somehow goes in the first 2 rounds, easily it's Francis.
Everything not winning this fight in the first 2 rounds. It's going to be a decision or a late TKO. That's what's going to be. And what my biggest thing is, though, this is the first dude that Cyril Gane's fighting that, since like Derek Lewis got that way last time, but Derek Lewis not even anywhere near close to as technical as Francis. Let's be honest here.
No.
But Francis slows down so much later on in the fight. The longer this fight goes, the better it's going to favor Cyril, and Cyril never stops moving.
How many times has Francis went that damn long? I mean, it's not his fault, but it's just like he just knocks everybody out.
Man, he was in hell. Yeah, and I understand. Like that's the thing. His path to victory is those first 2 rounds. But my thing is, footwork wise, it is night and day how heavy-footed Francis Ngannou is versus how light on his feet Cyril Gane is. Mm-hmm. And his ability, like when I saw him skipping out of range against Derek Lewis at 6'5" and having the frame that he does, who's going to close that distance?
My only thing
as explosive as possible, he's not going to close that distance on him. Like that footwork is unbelievable. Now,
my only thing with Lewis is he has the same footwork as like me right now. I just I feel like I can't give it too much credit.
Me right now.
Yeah, but okay, Volkov for example. Volkov has heavy ass feet though too, but he is a technical striker. Also, he's longer than Ngannou is, and longer than Gon is.
And longer than Gon
was. Yeah, Gon was jumping in and out of there like crazy. Where I think Francis has the chances countering inside the pocket, because that's his bread and butter. He's gonna have, like, he doesn't mind eating one to give one, which is exactly what he's gonna have to do. So it's a scary fight. But my thing is, we have never, ever seen someone as technical as Ciryl Gane. If it was anybody else as the champion right now, he'd walk right through him. If it was Stipe still with the title,
he'd walk right through
him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It wouldn't even be close to being competitive. Like, his ability to hit at all three levels, to kick high, to kick low, to hit side kicks, to jump in and out of range, to oblique kick. Nobody's even talking about that. He's going to be outside of his range, hitting them with whatever he wants to from on those legs. The thing is, he has to be smart and not get caught, because Francis is long and he's powerful.
So in that training footage that got leaked so Ciryl Gane has the same coach that used to coach Francis. They used to be coached by the same guy. Francis went off and got a different coach, and there's a lot of beef between Fernand Lopez and Francis. And one of these things that happened is this tape. I guess we can't say that Fernand Lopez put it out, but most people think that Fernand Lopez put it out, of sparring. These two dudes sparred before, and in the tape, it's not like nobody getting knocked out, but in the tape, it's clear that Ciryl Gane is landing shit. He's landing shit. Obviously, when you're sparring, you're not going 100%. You're not swinging for the fences. And if you're Francis and your superpower is literally your power, of course, that's not going to show up on a sparring tape.
Yeah.
And Francis has come out and said, I knocked him out in that same sparring session. And you're not going to see that part of the tape, but I knocked him out. So I think it's interesting because they both come into the fight. On one hand, you don't want to rely, if whatever you saw years ago, if you're either one of the fighters, you don't want to rely on what you felt about that fighter at that time, because they've gotten better. You've changed your fighting style, and also they're not going all the way hard. But I do think that the tape gives us some kind of inclination of Ciryl Gane is so fast. He's going to be able to land whenever he wants to, but he's also obviously got to get in and get out. He can't stay and hang around in the pocket with Francis. I'm picking Gane too, because not only we have all this coach storyline and backstory, these two dudes have sparred each other and know each other. We also have the fact that Francis is quite literally fighting for his professional life, because he's in this squabble with the UFC. He's thinking about trying to go get money in other places, and I don't blame him for that. But I think Ciryl Gane is enough of a challenger and a talented, more talented than Francis at enough spaces that he just has more avenues for victory to win the fight.
Yes,
Gane not going to win it early, but he can win it by sub. He can win it with wrestling. He can win it with a late knockout. Whereas Francis is going to win it with an early knockout. If we get to round 3, the live line going to go way up in favor of Ciryl, because Francis slows down. He's big ass dude. He's super swole. That stuff is not the most cardio friendly body type. Like he's not going to be in there fighting for his life for 25 minutes at the same pace. So the first couple rounds will be scary. I agree with Karen, but I think Gane will. I think if I had to pick how it's going to end, I think Gane will point him and win maybe the last 3 rounds. Who knows if he wins rounds 1 and 2? But as long as he don't get knocked out in rounds 1 and 2, I trust him later once Francis slows down just a touch to just get in there, touch him, get out. And once he lulls Francis into that rhythm, I think it's going to be very hard for Francis to find a way to win the fight.
So both of y'all picked against my Nigerian brother.
I didn't want to. You know how much I love Ngannou. But I gotta. This has been. I've been struggling with this all week because I love Francis Ngannou, and I don't hate Gane, but Ngannou is my son. But I just don't see how Francis wins the fight. I don't see it. I still think it's a coin flip.
I've went coin flip on this, and I think now because y'all both heard that I have to be the voice of reason and the right one. Pick Francis to win.
There we go. But somebody had to pick him.
Somebody had to. I just had to do it. It was a coin flip for me, man. This fight has scared me for the longest. I've been a big Gane hater, but he is so technical. He is so fast. He is a great striker. And, you know, I see his kicks slowing Francis down even more. That's always such a great neutralizer, just being able to kick and, you know, put damage on calves and, you know, make guys second guess coming in there. You're not planting with your full force when you're throwing haymakers that need, you know, his full force. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. But here's my thing. If Francis loses, it is all because Dana White has him in this shitty contract. And this man is going to be forced. If he wins, he has to fight 3 more times. But if this man loses, he's free.
He's free.
He is a free man. So I think, you know, That's gonna be my conspiracy theory for this fight, but I don't know. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. Anytime you got big boys, it is always so fun, and especially when you got big boys who are actually worth a damn and fun to watch fight.
Facts.
So
I think go ahead, Kieran.
Oh, this is it, like this, and then the last Francis and Stipe fight were the most excited that I've been over a heavyweight championships like fight in forever.
Years.
Kane and to compare this to like Kane and Fabricio Verdum, that shit did nothing for me in comparison to this.
I think I fell asleep. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, like Fabricio Verdum got it done, but that shit did absolutely nothing for me in comparison. Like nothing. Like now we actually got athletes in here at the heavyweight division doing the damn thing, and it's incredible to see. I'll say this. I think if from the context of of understanding Francis Ngannou's contract situation, I hope he does win so we get to see more of him in the UFC.
Amen.
Because I mean that man deserves to get paid. Let's be honest here.
That man is getting paid absolutely pennies, though. That article I shared it. I know me and Tisha read it, but it was awful. Like, bro, come on, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, like, I met the dude, got punched by the dude, super duper nice guy.
You are a legend.
Any other fight,
you should be telling way more people that. Why is that?
I'm about to go to countdown. I gotta slow it down and see the footage, bro.
18 minutes and 20 seconds.
Can we put? You should have that on your Twitter profile, like cheek by Francis.
That's what it was. My cover photo for a hot minute was like me.
You need to go ahead and restore the feeling of that.
That's amazing.
On something, we had somebody in the pod that was giving Francis some work. We're gonna release like a edited video for you.
Yeah. What's it called? No, but I think it's Gon's time, man. Like when Francis came in, I thought, okay, this is like the new age heavyweight. Like literally, I think Gon's coach said this at the presser today. He was just like, when Francis came in, he was that new guy, that new fighter that came in and changed the game, right? He's like, I feel like Ciryl Gane is that next up guy. When you have a dude that is as technical and as light on his feet and moves in the way that Ciryl Gane does,
and as young,
smart, is like he was like 31, 32, something like that. But I mean, for MMA, for heavyweights, that's young. Mm-hmm. It just, oh man, I think this dude is like really special, and I think this, if he wins this fight, is the start of a huge year for him. Because I
guess my only thing is I want Francis to be able to have
in the same year. It's nasty.
I want Francis to have his little reign for a time too. It feels like he literally just got champ, to be champ, and we waited for a while for this because you can see it always coming. And it's like, how quick does that window?
Yeah, he should have won that first one. If he was just patient, he could have got it done there.
Now it's like your window closed so dang fast. Like we were literally, I promise you, I had tweets thinking like a few years back, like, all right, Francis was gonna win this, and he's running this division for years, and now we're already talking about like, oh god,
there's always someone new. There's always someone new. We thought, I mean, shit, when Kamaru Usman switched up his game and started knocking people out and boxing up, I was like, oh, this dude's gonna run this division forever. Now we got a new guy, Hamza Chimaev, that I'm like, oh shit, he can be a real challenge. I'm not saying he's there yet. But I'm saying that dude could be a real challenge. He could be. Well, like now, like you're asking questions.
That man is going down as the GOAT of all GOATs. I'm ready to change my stance on that.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I wanted to. I'm tired of these GSP fanboys.
Whoa!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kamaru's a welterweight GOAT, bro. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it.
Ooh, I need GSP to come back and screw Dana over one more time.
Screw Dana over.
Absolutely not. GSP played that perfectly, though. He came back and fought an old washed ass, like shouldn't have had the belt as champion.
That's
dude,
what
won
did.
Bro, dude won the middleweight belt over a dude that wasn't even a top 5 middleweight at the time. Like, oh my god!
Yeah, you kind of.
Please come back and fight Tony Ferguson, please. I'm begging you. That's the perfect fight to come back.
I would love to see that too.
Oh my god! But us Conor fans can ride another day, bro. I don't want to see.
I ain't no Conor.
Me.
Bro.
Yeah, that's just you, T.
I love.
This is you, bro.
Francis is one of those guys that could literally. It's rare that you have a guy in boxing or in UFC or in MMA who can knock somebody out with every punch in the arsenal, but somebody in their weight class. Like Francis can knock Gane out or anybody else out with a jab. So that's incredibly scary because you can't just wait for the haymaker and then dodge it like he did against Derek Lewis. Because Derek Lewis he's not as technical. He don't have every punch in the bag where he's just gonna knock you out with the quick jab to the like. Whereas Ngannou, anytime he touches you, anytime he lands it could be a knockout punch. It don't matter if he winded it up or not. So
that's where I get
dangerous.
scared too. Gon is not afraid to trade in the pocket sometimes.
No, not at all.
And his
this is not the time to trade.
Yeah, exactly. And his defense is very much like, oh, I'm gonna roll under this. It's just like it's like, bro, if one of those slips through, you're done. Like it's over. Good night. You know what I mean?
Like you could probably block a punch if Francis would hit you, and it still may knock you out.
Definitely.
So that's not like a good thing.
What is Gon's chin like though, too? Because we ain't ever seen dude so much as like
nobody's ever
hit hard. like I mean, Volkov hit him with a clean uppercut, and he just like okay, was right back in range and started throwing at him too. Like it. Also, I think the mentality of Gon plays a big factor here too. Dude literally talks about fighting like it's a damn sport. He's like, yeah, it's a sport. It's like fun. I got really good at it. And I'm like, bro, like you in here. Dudes are trying to take your head off. Like when Derek Lewis is sitting there just like, I'm going to knock his ass out. And he's just like, this guy. I was like, what the fuck is going on? No, but I don't know. We'll see. I think the nerves are going to be running high for both guys. This is a big moment, really, really big moment, especially with their like history and coaching and everything attached to this. But man, it's going to be a hell of a fight. And whoever wins this, I think runs shit for a while. I don't. Also, if Ngannou comes back after he loses, if that happens, who else in these divisions is beating them?
That's the thing. Like, what do you do no matter what this outcome is? Yeah. I mean, I think John Jones' best way to win is to fight Gon. I don't think he could beat Francis. I just don't see that.
I don't like John Jones against either of those dudes. I think John Jones should go fight Stipe, beat him up. And
I always said that. I always thought John Jones' reasoning for going up to heavyweight was he was hoping Stipe was going to win, and he knew he would destroy Stipe.
He destroyed.
And then when that didn't happen, he was like, "Whoa, let me go do coke and drugs again."
This is this is what I think about this year and also John Jones. So I think this year is set up for Gon to make a claim to be one of the greatest heavyweights of all time early, and really like establish himself as like one of those big dudes. Because let me point it out. He can fight 3 times this year, right? He can fight this Saturday against Ngannou. If he wins, he can fight International Fight Week in June or July against John Jones. Mm-hmm. And then he can fight at the end of the year in Madison Square Garden against Stipe Miocic.
That's a 1, 2, 3.
Year. That's if he goes through that, and I'd favor if
he beats. You wouldn't see John until the end of the year. I think John's going to fight somebody mid-range here early. First UFC fight.
You're going to start hearing John Jones's mouth. You're going to start hearing John Jones's mouth a whole lot after this weekend. You will.
See, I think he's going to fight Stipe, and then you're going to get him versus one of the heavyweights at the end of the year.
He bops Stipe. Oh, my God.
He's going to destroy him, and we're going to hear so much trash talk from John.
John Jones should be sitting ringside. He should be sitting octagon side.
He probably will be.
Let's start it right now. Like he should be sitting right there, smiling ear to ear, and talking shit on Twitter immediately after the person wins.
So what's the bigger sale? Is there a bigger sale ever than John and Francis though?
I'll say this, though.
Francis is the bigger sale.
Francis.
That would be insane. That would be that card with Dana White would charge us $200.
John and Francis would be huge. Yeah. But I'll put it this way. The winner of this fight has 2 fights this year that they can go on and be all-time great. Because John Jones and Stipe, I honestly think both of these guys beat John Jones. I think Francis has a tougher time with John Jones.
I agree.
I think Gon. Let me explain why. Because John Jones is my favorite fighter. There's one dude that I know for certain beats him, and it's Gon. If you look at John Jones's weaknesses, it is his hands, and it's other people that are just as athletic as him. And when you have someone that's as athletic technically on the feet as Gon is, he's not going to sit here and have a kickboxing match with a guy like Gon, who's just as athletically gifted and just as talented, picked up on everything just as fast as John Jones did, but he's better. His path to victory is one way. He has to take him down.
Used to always say that Izzy scared John Jones because he saw a younger version of himself.
The problem, if Izzy was 230 pounds, I would 100% agree with you.
But Izzy, we know he won't drink a protein shake to save his life.
Is that Izzy's too small, and now John is training with elite wrestlers again. He takes him down and whoops Izzy every single time. The problem with Gon is the size and strength and athleticism. Gon is a more superior athlete than John Jones is, and this will be the first time that he faces someone that is. And I think Ngannou is too a more superior athlete strength-wise, but also. If that fight gets out of the first round, who are you betting on?
The live odds are
going
for John Jones. But it's not. My thing is, it's not the John Jones that we've grew up and loved. John Jones has been trash his last couple of fights. I've not seen anything.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. John Jones is showing up for a huge heavyweight fight. Because although you can say he hasn't been trash, he hadn't been doing shit,
he gonna be dead.
He better pack a lunch.
He still makes everybody miss more than anybody in light heavyweight history. He makes people.
I agree with that.
Defensively, he's like I liken his career to like a Floyd Mayweather, except it's MMA, not boxing.
Yeah,
he was freaking young, wild, crazy boy John Jones, throwing people around, doing all sorts of shit. Right now, he's gotten older. He shaved his head bald, and he's more defensive, just like Floyd Mayweather. Just like Floyd Mayweather. Like he doesn't get hit very often, and I think against a guy like Francis Ngannou, he'd love that challenge. He's a fucking sicko. Like he is a sick person. He is a fucking sociopath.
I know, but he hasn't seen no power like that. That's just so a little bit different once you get that.
Gets touched by power like that though. That's the problem. I really
put him in the Apex ring.
You said what again?
Let's put him in the Apex ring. Let's let Dana be a real sicko and put him in a little small ring and let him get after him.
That'd be interesting. I still think John.
That's damn sure what he did against Stipe. I was like, bro, you kind of did Stipe dirty right here. Like you put this man in a little bitty cage. It was like, all right.
Yeah. Also, though, John later on in the fight gonna take him down. Has a way better wrestling and submission.
Absolutely.
Than Stipe Miocic did. I think he get him up out of there. And that's why, I just don't think he gets gone down. Who can match him with cardio too? That's the big thing. It's like if Ngannou could keep up that pace for 5 rounds, I pick him every day of the week. But he can't. It is what it is. Like there's stories of like sparring when John Jones used to be throwing Alistair Overeem around, like just tooling his ass, like insane. Like showing up on his off day while Alistair was in camp and just tooling him. Like it's
all right. His off day may have been a couple of lines though.
Oh, no, definitely.
It was LT type strength.
Never underestimate that crackhead strength, but that's wild. That coke was going crazy back then. Michael Irvin coke.
Michael Irvin coke. Well, we got banger of a main event. We got a banger of a co-main. Kieran, we have to have you back on. We're definitely gonna slander your picks.
The Aljo. I've already penciled you in for the Aljo card.
We definitely bringing it back for the Aljo card for sure. Because somebody got to speak up for that man. Because it's slander hours on this podcast. But another episode in the can, guys. Episode 10's in the can, and we can't wait to be watching fights with you on Saturday. And tune back in. We'll be next week to recap it all and look forward to another week of fights. Thank y'all for coming. Signing off.